Hello? Can you hear me? Hello? Let's see.
Hello, yeah, can
Oh,
hear you.
hi.
Everything to him and explained what we do and everything. But
hmm
she's so heavy, she wanted to convert me to a strasser, and I actually converted her the other way.
Oh, good. Well, that's absolutely wonderful.
So,
You know, because because see that kind of person with those kind of horses, it's really more deceptive because they don't get trimmed as much and they
yes,
don't wear their
I think-
frogs out as much. So they don't
yes.
get trimmed, their heels trimmed
What,
down as much. And that's the only
yeah,
reason they escape.
what actually saved most of those horses because they have nice, thick, plump frogs, but decent frogs, not like completely like real nice frogs. And
Yeah.
because they were killing to the base of the frog, they weren't killing the heels. Some of them had bad frogs. Those ones, the heels were completely messed up, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the ones that had decent frogs, they didn't trim lower than that. So the actual heel stayed. So I explained that to her. I said to her, had these horses not have these frogs that and you trimmed the thrusters away. And she came out with all thrusters, books and everything. And I explained to her the 3 centimeter rule, the 30-degree angle and the whole lot. And she's trying to convert me, but she ended being converted, ended up being converted.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. Wow, that's a ton of horses. That's a big client to get there, Riza.
Yeah, but it's a hell of a lot of work. And it's hot out there. Jeez.
Oh
I mean,
man.
it is so hot out there. I mean, the problem was that, and also because it's on the high felt, um, the air is so thin up there. I mean, I'm living at sea level. So the
Uh-huh.
high felt is like, if you go up high, they get, I think it was like 1400 meters up higher than we are. So, yeah, it was quite a challenge because I had a couple of nosebleeds and stuff because the air is just thin out there. But I mean, it was quite fun. The reason when she said she trimmed them Strasser, then I said I'm coming. I didn't know I wasn't gonna go, but when she
Uh-huh.
said that, I said I'm going. I want to see the horror show.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, that's really interesting. Hey,
The only,
I was not recording at first when I started
yeah,
this. Could you just share the very first part of that again?
yes,
What?
no problem.
Okay.
Yeah, I will, not a problem. Oh, now are you recording it now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry. No, because like I said, she asked me to come up there to come and do some horses there, and I wasn't really interested in really driving like 10, 12 hours to go and basically do some horses.
Yeah,
And
really.
then I when then she said to me, yeah, what method do I use? I said, listen, we don't use a method. I do the anatomically correct trim, and we do it. We trim according to the inner foot. And she looked at me funny, like, what am I talking about? And
Wow.
didn't understand that. So I said, but now what? Explain to me what the stress trim is. Now playing dumb. And she
hmm
explained to me, and I said, no, I know stress. I know Hildred stress. And I started explaining. And she said, how do you know this? I said, because I've studied all of these people. And I named, and then I said to her, and then she was coming about Pete Ramey. And I said, all these people, they follow the same thing. And I explained to her the whole history. And then she said to me, um, so you're not going to come up? I said, no, now that you said your horses are trimmed Strasser style, I'm coming up. I want to come see the horror show.
Oh man.
It was quite funny. Yeah, so I drove up there, and yeah, it was quite nice. I mean, look, it was hard work, but I mean, it was nice to see what happened and how they trim and everything. Because then I
hmm
explained, asked her how explain to me how you do this, you know. And she was telling the guys how to trim. I said, listen, if you carry on like that, you're gonna have terrible feet. You're gonna have problems with your horses. And I said, listen, let me show you something. And I started doing a couple. And she said, and I started, but the problem was the frogs were so hard. I couldn't trim them with my knife. It was just like rock hard. I said, your foot can't move. Your horse can't. I said, the frog is like a hinge of the foot. And the foot cannot function the way it should if the frog's that hard. So you got to trim some of it off or let them stand in water to get some moisture. She said there is dams that they go on the farm and that they can stand in, and they basically free roam on like 500 hectares.
Uh-huh.
So they basically live like a wild horse.
Yeah.
And because it's actually a game farm, and they have all sorts of game on the farm, and the horses live within the same area as the game.
Yeah.
So they
Wow.
basically live wild. And I was very surprised to see some of the feed was quite decent.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, the frogs on some of these horses were so nice. It wasn't like a out of bounds. I mean, look, they were overgrown, but they weren't so badly out of bounds. But they were nice and thick. So they were trimming the strasse away to the base of the frog, which basically meant that they've left a bit of hill on because the frog was actually so thick. So that actually enabled them to actually basically stop them from trimming further than
Yeah.
they would have normally done.
Yep.
If they'd followed the 3 centimeter rule that she was talking about, they would have trimmed the heels out completely. But
Yeah.
because they were just trimming to the base of the frog, which was actually their saving grace in that
Yep.
aspect.
Yep.
So I explained to her, that was your saving grace. Had you not done that, you would have had a horror show here. And she said, so why did you come? I said to her, because I wanted to come and see the horror show. When you said Strasse, my mind was made up. I'm going to drive. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, that's quite a drive. That's really interesting.
Yeah. But
wow.
It was quite a lovely time. I had a good time there. I mean, I stayed up there for a whole week.
Oh,
teaching
wow.
the guy.
Yeah.
The guy that worked for, but the main guy that normally trims, he wasn't back from Mozambique yet. So I was waiting for him as well, but he never pitched. So the other 3 guys that was there, I was teaching them. The first thing I just told them is, do not touch the heels. You can take the toe down, you can do that, but do not touch the heels. I'll come and do the heels. And I showed them exactly what to do, when to touch it, how much to take off. I mean, and then she said to me, oh, but you trim, and there's still like a space above the frog. I said, yes, I want to have a little bit of heel more than the frog. The frog can grow down to the heel, or the horse can wear some of that heel, but I'm not going to cut it off till there, because if you do, you're going to create a problem. Yeah, but Strasse, I said, I'm not Strasse. I don't trim Strasse. This is what I'm doing now, and I'm explaining. And I tried to explain to him. I showed him the videos. Actually, wanted to show them the video of your the one we had last week, the hoof chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then it wasn't up yet at that time.
Sorry about that.
No, I was just looking, but it's not a problem. I'll send it to her and everything, so she can have a good look. But now she wants me to come up every 3 to 4 months. I said, okay, in between the guys got to do this, and I explained to them, and I had good, every day we did horses, and I explained to them and I showed them what to do, what not to touch, where to, just so the feet can recover properly. And the feet is actually not bad. I mean, not too bad. They've got decent sole in them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they haven't completely decimated the feet. So, but the last guy that was there, apparently, she was not teaching him, but he was like doing what she wanted to do,
Yeah.
So he was following whatever she said, and whatever she said was what she learned from Strasse. So basically he was doing a Strasse trim. And he said, yeah, well, about 2 or 3 weeks after he left, all the feet cracked. I said, yeah, well, why? What do you think?
Yeah.
Why do you think that happened? Did you trim the horse's heels out, leave the toes long, and then expect them not to have problems? And then I said to her, listen, after I leave here, you can wait and see if there's any of those horses crack. I said, all the horses that was cracked, and I trimmed and fixed those cracks up. I said, you're going to see those cracks going to grow out. She said, we'll see. I said, yeah, well, the proofs will be in the pudding.
Yeah.
But the nice thing is she had a big, the horse was like 18 hands, warm
Oh my
blood.
goodness.
And he had terrible feet. I mean, his feet was horrible. And he kept saying, no, this horse is stop and start, and he doesn't do this and that. I said, come, bring him here first. So we did him first. I said, now leave him for a day or two, because he's just got to settle. I said, by the second day, I said, put the saddle on that horse and go ride it. She says to me, are you sure? Can we ride now? I said, you can ride straight away after I trim. But I just wanted that horse to, because it's a big horse.
Yeah.
I said, put the saddle on. She put the saddle on this horse. She goes and trots, and I just hear her screaming and carrying on. I said, what's wrong? He says, the horse has movement. I said, yes, it will have movement now, because it's actually It can actually use its feet now. I
Wow.
said to her, she said to me, but he never used to move like this. He feels like he's gonna bounce me step, and he moves forward, and she was riding the whole afternoon. She was riding the horse, couldn't
Wow.
understand it. And I said, where's the other one that has a problem? Bring him here too. We did him. She wrote that. She said, oh, what a change in this horse too. I said, yes, now all your horses will start changing. Stop your stress it to me. And
Wow.
then she was like really thinking twice. And she came back to me. She said, you know, we were doing this wrong. I think we're doing this wrong. Maybe stress is not the right way. As in, no, stress isn't the right way.
Wow.
So
Yeah. Well,
she started to think about it.
well,
Now she
what a
wants,
great story.
yeah, so she wants me to teach her guys to trim the way I do and the way we do. So I said, look, I'm going to try and get you on the page and everything, but I haven't spoken to her yet. So there's very bad reception out there because it's in the middle of nowhere, really in the middle of nowhere. You're going to
Yeah.
go off the beaten track for at least 30 Ks before you get to their farm.
Wow.
So yeah, it's like, I mean, the dirt road is like, I think 30 Ks long, and you can only travel like 20 kilometers per hour max. So it takes you like an hour or two to get to their place.
Wow.
It's just on the dirt road.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're in the middle of nowhere. I mean, I
Yeah.
promise you. I put a couple of videos on my story on Facebook about
Okay.
this. I put it on. I think some of it's gone, but I've got more that I'll put on later, which was quite funny because I took a couple of videos. I wanted to take pictures of those feet, but I just, we were
You're
going
in a
so
hurry.
far.
I mean, you had so many
Yeah.
horses.
If I had somebody that could take pictures while I was there, I think we took a couple of pictures of a couple of horses, but
Yeah.
not many. Yeah. But
Yeah.
I'll probably put it on Facebook or make a post of it or something.
Yeah. If you get a chance, when next time you go, I'd like to see a picture of that 18-hand horse.
Yeah, and then I must actually ask them because I didn't take pictures of the horse. I must actually ask them because they were taking pictures of the horse.
Okay.
While I was working. I think they've got some pictures. I'll ask them. He's huge. I mean, if I stand up straight, he towers over me. His withers towers over me.
Wow. What were
He's
his
actually
feet like?
his feet was he was one of them that also had very forward running heels.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what your horse's foot looked like when you started with Valor?
Yeah.
That type of foot. It had that type
Oh,
of foot.
gee, yeah.
That looking foot, but not maybe not as bad, but I mean that you could see that shape is there. You know,
Uh-huh.
that's from pulling the heels out. But I mean, after I set the heels back a little bit, brought the toe back, and give it a nice, just a nice bevel and everything, and
Yeah.
left a little bit of heel above the thick frog. He's lucky he's got a thick frog,
Yeah.
and then he was moving like you can't believe.
Yeah. Just taking those leverages off and leaving him
Yeah, because they were
some
leaving the toes long and taking the heels off, and the horse was walking like they were
like a
walking like
duck.
ducks, like a duck, exactly like a
Yeah.
duck. So yeah, so well, you've got them converted, I think.
Wow. I just think that's a great story. That's awesome, And so I want to say, um, the person that's telling the story right now is
Yeah.
Riza, who lives in South Africa. Just for the video, I'm saying that.
Okay. No.
Okay.
Understand.
And
Yeah.
and he's a professional farrier and trimmer, just so people know. And stuff. Well, that's just really great and stuff. Well, so on your page
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
have some
You could,
videos.
hello. Hello.
Hello, are you there?
Oh, yeah. I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay. So on your
So yeah.
page you have some
So
videos, did you say?
so, yeah. I don't know if it's gone off already because it's gone. There's a couple. It only stays for 24 hours. That's on my page, like my
Oh, one of
story.
those skills. Yeah.
Yeah. It just stays for like 24 hours and then it disappears. But I'm gonna load some more later,
Okay.
so you can see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, next week can we look at them?
Yes, I'm sure we can. Not a problem at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That'd be awesome. Well,
Yeah.
It doesn't look like I'm gonna. I just did tell everybody. When I got on here, I told Reese. I said, I'm gonna. I just woke up. I'm going to take a bath. I mean, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, but there was like a really bad storm here,
Oh
and
gosh,
daylight saving time kicks
it's not
me
that easy
in
time.
the rear every time it happens. It throws me so off
Yeah,
that
because when they move back 2 hours or what, or forward
this time it's an hour forward.
an hour forward. So
Yeah,
now 6 o'clock becomes 7 o'clock. Is that
yeah.
it? Oh, okay.
And
So
yeah, and the thing was, I actually accidentally started it a week before because somebody
oh,
told me the week before it's daylight savings time. So I was like, ah, So I actually
why did
started
it
a week.
change it? I don't understand. It doesn't make sense. It's still
It
the same
doesn't
thing.
make sense. They did it like in 1915 or I don't know, something like that. This is what my husband
Yeah.
was telling me to save lamp oil or
Yeah, yeah,
some darn
exactly.
thing,
Now we don't have to worry about that.
you know. Um,
Yeah,
Now they just continue to do it to screw
it's like
everybody up,
it's like
screw your internal
ferrying.
time clock and up
It's
and
like
twice a
it's like
year.
yes, it's like traditional ferrying. We're doing it just because it's been done like that all the years.
Yeah.
You know, doesn't mean it's okay.
Yeah, like Arizona doesn't do it. They
Oh
said
yeah,
no. And a couple
yeah,
other states don't do it. They just don't do it. You know,
yeah.
it's like,
The time is the time it is. If it's seven
yeah,
o'clock, it's 7 o'clock. If it's eight
yeah,
o'clock, it's 8 o'clock. If it's dark by that time, fine. If it's light by that time, fine. You
yeah.
know?
And it's amazing, really, how it does mess you up.
Yeah,
You know,
because your your
uh,
your your whole clock is changed.
yeah,
Your whole system is changed because you
yeah,
think you still got time and you don't, or you
you,
still think, you know.
yeah. You don't. So anyway, well, I've been watching and seeing everybody that did their homework from last week, and
They
it's
do
looking
homework.
really good. It's really great to have people looking at their hooves and just with the basics and marking them up just to see kind of what's going on,
Yeah, yeah.
and to recognize that. And so I thought we'd take a look at some of that. Um,
Yeah.
I also uh when was the last time I trimmed my horse was on one, what was it? No. Yeah, I think January 2nd. And
Okay.
so I did a foot yesterday. I'm 65. I can do a foot,
Why not?
you know, and stuff. And that's probably why I slept till 1 too. I don't know. But anyway, I was just gonna put a video on and go take a quick shower, but now I'm awake and
Still
stuff.
go for it. It's
You
fine.
help
Go for
you help make wake me up, Riza, with
it.
your story. It's great. It's great. So um I want to just share about we're gonna look at people's homework and stuff like that. I also want to share about this foot I did that was a real surprise. I mean, it's wet, 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 wet here.
Yeah, yeah.
Has been for a while. So my horse's
Okay.
feet have been wet, wet, wet. And the last
You've
time
been
I even picked his foot up was, well, 2 months ago. What is it? It's March 13th. So you got
March,
January 1st to February 1st to March 1st.
March,
Oh my
two
goodness.
months, more than 2 months.
That's probably the longest I've ever let that horse go without trimming
Really?
his feet. And anyway, before I did that, I had been uh uh doing more to try and what would you call it? Unbind unbind the back of his foot.
Yeah, yeah.
See, now I did the Strasser trim. It really was the Strasser trim. Whether it was Cheryl Henderson's trim or even now if it was Pete Ramey's or whoever, the basic
Yeah.
barefoot trim, they all do the same thing basically.
Yes.
I mean, I did that faithfully to that horse for, well, from around 2007. I started trimming him in 2005. I did Gene Ovanik's trim, which is
Yeah.
just taking the heels down to the base of the frog.
Yeah. Basically the same type of idea.
Yeah. And sooner or later, if your horse's frogs wear down, and especially because uh, when we start to trim, we over trim anyway, most us gals, because we got our horse right there and we want their feet to be perfect. And so, you're usually trimming them probably more than you should, you
Yeah,
know.
that's the problem. Yeah.
And then when things start going bad, then you wind up trimming them even more because you think I'll fix it. And
Yeah.
that even makes it worse, you
Yeah.
know.
Sometimes you just gotta leave it alone to let it grow and
Yeah,
then
leave it alone and let it grow. And
I
so,
mean
yeah, so
like
one of the things we've confronted is chronic over trimming.
yeah.
Don't chronically over trim, but I do like to trim every
Yeah.
5 or 6 weeks, so letting them go
It's good
nine.
to touch him up on and see little things that needs to be changed or at
Yeah,
that time. That's a great thing to do. That's what I said to these people as well. Don't I leave the horse for another bloody 3 months before you touch it. I said,
yeah,
bring him in. Every week they bring him in once a week, I think, to check for ticks and everything. So when they do that, I said, just pick it up, have a look at it. If there is high points that you need to take down, you can see the foot has changed. Just touch it up and let it go. Don't do a full trim on it. Just touch up the little thing. So the foot wears evenly all the time.
hold on a second, because somebody
I
is
think,
not muted, and boy, they're sure making a
yeah,
bunch of noise.
I could hear it. I thought it
Oh,
was
there
a
we went.
radio.
It disappeared. Okay, thank you.
I
I think
think
it
it
was
was,
Julia.
no, it was Android Blue. What? I don't know what that is.
Android Blue. Who is that? Can you talk?
Perhaps
Android.
it's me. Hi, guys.
Hi.
It's Angeliki speaking.
Who is it?
Yeah.
Angeliki.
Oh, hello. I had
Hello.
Oh, okay. How are
I
you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Your phone
now.
was
I think
ghosting.
I think I did something with my phone and it was unmuted.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. That's okay.
Not a problem.
That's okay. Um.
I
Oh my.
just joined now.
Oh, okay. Now, what country are you in?
Greece.
Greece.
Greece. Oh. Oh. It's. Oh,
It's
okay.
Angeliki.
That's right. See, I really wasn't understanding what you were saying in there at first. Now I know it's you. Hi. How are you?
Hi. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm so happy I can hear of you, all of
Oh
you.
yeah. Yeah. It's great to have you here.
Yeah. I was kind of busy writing to Reza
Uh huh.
about the horse we're dealing with.
About the a horse you're dealing with.
Yes, we have a problem with a horse, and Reza is of the greatest help ever.
For sure. What's wrong with the horse?
Well, his hoofs are kind of over trimmed and the
Down.
owner is a terrier,
Mm-hmm.
and his horse has a problem on his hind right hoof.
Uh-huh.
He's getting hurt
Oh yeah,
with his
okay.
own hoof,
Yeah.
and we are trying to find out how we can help it.
Like what they call overreaching.
No,
Yes,
this
I
one,
think so.
it's more like a speedy cut. Um,
Okay.
what happens is the one leg turns out way too far out of its boundaries, and when it starts to canter or gallop, it actually knocks the other back leg just behind the fetlock and cuts it up in that area.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, so we're just trying to biomechanically try and turn the actual leg with a different shoe just to try and change the flight pattern so he doesn't knock himself and hurt himself and then stop working.
Oh,
Type of thing.
yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So he's got shoes on and you know.
He showed the horse the way Reza recommended, and I sent some videos and some photos of it. And then I remember that we have a meeting, so I joined just now.
That's great. Well, I'm glad you're able to make it. I'm glad you remembered to come and stuff. And today I've got some certain things I'm going to share, but next week Riza's going to have some videos. And Riza, maybe you could share on that horse and that problem too. Would that be okay?
Which one is that?
It would be a very, very big help.
Oh, sorry. I said, well, and we could even do if since Angelique is here, after I get done with some odds and ends here, do you want to share some stuff on that horse here with Riza and have him? Is there some stuff you'd like to do?
Well, if Riza agrees, yes, I send him
no
some.
Problem. No problem at all.
Okay.
No problem at all.
Well, we're gonna let's see. I'm gonna go till. Well, let's just do it now. Okay.
Well, whatever.
Yeah, let's just do it now
of these horse.
Because I just got up. I'm still in my bed, my flannel nightgown and stuff. So let's see. You guys can screen share and stuff like that, right? So
yeah.
Why don't you just go ahead and talk to each other and Risa, you can share about this horse. I'm sorry, what?
I said she can share what she's got, the videos or whatever, and then we can have a look at it and see and discuss that while you having your shower or something.
Yeah.
That's not a problem. Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's see. I'm not screen sharing, so I think you can just take over.
Yeah. Okay. Agaliki can start sharing because she's got the pictures and the videos of the horse.
Okay, so whether she wants to, like, sometimes I have people send that to me a messenger or however you guys want to work it out. Okay.
Yeah, well, we've got something.
I have to ask you, I never shared videos and in these Zoom meetings, and I don't know how to do it.
Okay.
Just press on your screen. Just press on your screen and it will come up share and a green button at the bottom of your screen, and just touch that and then you can share whatever you've got.
Oh, I see. I'll try to do it.
Are you on your computer?
No, I am on my handy.
Oh, she's on a phone, so I don't know. I don't know how to do it because I've never done Zoom on a phone.
Yeah, mine's on the phone as well, but I mean, it's like doing that. Let's see. The host can share.
Let me see. I can share. I sent you, Reza, some photos.
Yeah.
And you have it on your messenger, but how can I share here?
Let me see if I can find it quickly. Oh gosh.
Yeah. It's interesting because I sent you the same Hoof 6 months ago when I started to follow him, and I started to apply some TACT via internet, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
Because he's in the other end of Greece.
Oh, he's on a different side of the country.
Yes. And we speak and I send him corrections and photos of what he should do. And his hoofs are better now, but still they have huge problems.
Do you think you're going to be able to do this?
I don't know if Reza can share the photos I've sent him in his messenger.
Okay. He's looking, I take it. Hi, Sharon. I'm seeing people pop up here. Hi, Julia. Hi, Tiffany. Hi, Meg. Hi, Allie. Hi, Anne.
Hi.
That is you, isn't it? Anne. Hi, Linda. I'm talking to me.
Is my phone unmuted?
Yeah, it's
Can you hear
unmuted,
me?
and it says Android Bluebird, Blue Droid,
Blue droid.
Android Blue Droid.
Oh.
It doesn't have your name.
Here,
I
Andrew
can't-
Blue Droid. Is this
Sorry.
me, Andrew
That-
Blue?
Yep, that's
Yeah.
you. That's why I was asking. Who's Android Blue Droid? We have droids now trimming.
I think it's the phone, this the type of phone, because mine probably sometimes comes up as J4 or something like that.
Okay, so do you guys think you're going to be able to do this, or is
I
this
won't be able to
beyond our
share it, 'cause
technical expertise at this time?
because when I try to share, it says the host can only share on this in this meeting.
Okay, well,
So that's okay. We'll
I
chat.
don't-
You can just change the settings, Linda. If you click on that green box down below and allow Reza to share his screen, it's a quick fix.
What green box down below?
Where it says share content, if you click on the little box, it'll allow you to allow multiple participants to share their
Okay.
screen.
How many participants? Oh, hey, well, you must be doing Zoom for work or something to know that. Let's see. Okay. Now I changed it.
Let's
Now
see. Okay, there it
I
looks like,
changed it. Okay, now I'll close it and see. Did it do anything?
let's see.
Oh, mine says now multiple participants can share.
Okay, yeah, I see. I've got that as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Now go into things. Right. Let's see. Camera.
Is it going to let you share?
Let's see. I want to see.
Oh, hey, we see you.
That's his.
Hello.
Oh, gosh, where is that again? Let's see. I tried to go to the camera to see I should have gone into files or something. Let's have a look again.
Yeah, Reza, you have to tell to share your screen, your desktop.
Okay.
Your desktop.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm on my phone actually, so I don't know if it's gonna work.
That's a problem. Can you aim your phone at your computer?
I don't have my computer. My computer is actually not working at the moment, so it's a bit of a. So I'm just on my phone at the moment. But maybe if Agaliki, but she's also on her phone.
Yeah. Yeah, we might not be able to do it. Oh, unless, well, then I'd still have to be here, but unless she sent me the pictures or something.
Yes, I was about to tell you, I'm going to send you in your messenger the pictures and the videos, so you can show it. Just a minute, I'll do it.
Okay, well, you do that, and here I'll just be the go-between here.
Yeah,
and I'll share the pictures and the video, and then Reza, you can do the evaluation and tell whatever. Okay.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. Meanwhile, while we're waiting for those pictures, just a minute. Up here they come. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Wait.
Wait.
Okay.
Wow,
I sent you. This is
We have nice music while we're waiting.
yes, I've learned this from you. Here
Yeah.
goes.
Okay.
Are they coming?
Yes.
You know,
Yes. Yes, I've got them.
I was thinking that we've gone a long way since we've met, Linda.
Boy, we have, haven't we? That was when? 2011 or something like
Yes.
that? Oh,
Yes,
this
it's
poor
10
guy's
years
fucking horrible. Okay, let me get the share on here.
Yes, the first photo is the same hoof that has the problem.
Okay.
And it is something like 6 or 7 months ago.
Okay, let me get the.
And yes.
Can
and
everybody
now-
see that?
Yes, we can.
What does it look so weird? Oh, maybe because he's been standing in the mud or something.
Looks like copper sulfate though.
Oh, it does turn black, doesn't it? Huh. Okay, so there's the foot. Is this a front foot or a back foot?
Back foot.
Back
It's the hind.
Well, let's.
Yes, this is
Oh.
6 months ago.
Now there's what the foot is supposed to look like, only with the thing on it.
Yeah.
Going the wrong way though.
And he's a farrier who owns this horse.
Uh-huh.
So this is the hoof today.
Uh-huh.
And he trimmed and he rasped one side as Reza recommended.
Uh-huh.
But you'll have some other photos that show where the problem. The last photos I sent you is where not the videos, the last ones, yes, these ones, are where he gets the wound.
Yeah. Okay.
See?
Yes. Yeah. Which we call here overreaching. Because
Yes.
overreach with the back foot and hit the front foot. Because the front foot.
No, this is the hind foot, and
This is the hind foot?
Yes, and he gets the wound on the hind foot.
Well, this is so
That's
weird.
the problem. Yes.
Oh, is this the inside?
Oh no,
Yeah.
it's the outside it's the lateral, not the medial side.
Well, see, that's even weirder.
Yes.
Is that the lateral side? I thought it was the medial side.
No, it's the lateral side.
Well, that's
very
just
strange.
virtually
That's very odd.
impossible.
Yeah, kind of. Because I thought
And
it was
he-
the medial side that he catches with his other medial side of his hind foot because
Yeah.
of the flight pattern and swinging it away from the body. But before he gets to swing away, he swings into the other leg.
Yeah, stepping on himself.
Yeah.
But with it being the lateral side, does he get this all the time?
Yes, every time he opens his gate, when he speeds up, he gets this wound.
The only way that then can happen is that the front feet must be dishing outward and then catching the inner. Oh, no, but that's the lateral side. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
how strange. Well, let's look at him walk. I mean,
Yes.
that's just weird.
Yeah.
You-
And I've separated some photos from the video, and you see that he puts his hoofs in a very, very strange way when he walks.
Well, his feet
Yeah,
are really
very bad.
messed up. I mean,
Yeah.
they're
It's
really
contracted
bound, really
and
extremely bound.
Yeah.
One
Yes.
thing. And what are you going to say, Riza?
I said that whole cartilage looks odd on the top of the white cartilage there. It's really looks like the whole thing's pulled down in that area. It's like
Yeah.
that V shape, and the cleft there is just showing how contracted that foot is.
Yeah, and this is interesting that we're looking at this foot because this has something to do with what I want to show you today too, that I found on my own horse. Some things that I've been seeing
Yeah,
that has to do with what is the true foot of the horse. I mean, what is it? Because when it's bound at all, you do not have the true foot of the horse. And I don't, I'm still coming to understand what is the true foot of the horse, because this binding takes on so many different forms and manifestations, and it's about all we ever see to one degree or another. So we've never really seen the true foot of the horse. I mean, I believe I know what it is, and I'm seeing it now, but I've seen it start to manifest on my own horse as even after the foot was what I thought was unbound, starting
yeah,
to unbind more.
yeah. And look, the thing is, it binds in two ways, Linda. I've noticed. The one is where it binds from dorsal wall to heel, like bending the foot.
Yeah.
And the other way is from lateral to medial, like squeezing together.
Yeah.
So you're getting a smaller capsule from dorsal wall to heel, and you're getting a smaller capsule from lateral to medial. It gets squashed together.
Yeah. And I'm seeing another way it binds too.
Really?
From the back. Here, let me show you. Because this is what I'm seeing coming undone on my horse. And what it's doing is it's bringing me back to when I first started, which was with Gene Ovanek, and what he found, not that he totally understood it or even interpreted it right, but what he found in his study when in the 80s, when he was with BLM, and he did all these board imprints and measurements on all these wild horses.
Yeah.
And stuff, which is full posterior frog support. And what that really is, I'm starting to see what it really is.
That's almost like a donkey's foot where the frog is further back than your heel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let me copy this foot off of hers. Let me see. Save image, what I do here, and then I'll have to reshare it. Just a second here. Oops. You know, because if we're going to get the real foot, we have to know what it is.
Exactly.
You know? Okay, I'm going to stop share on that for a minute. And then we'll come back to it after I explain this real quick here, because I see that on this horse. Just a minute here.
But I must tell you guys, I have all kinds of deformations. It's incredible.
Okay.
Not only on this foot, I mean, generally. They sent me hoofs that I cannot imagine. They have everything, all kind of deformation.
I bet. See,
this one's quite pulled under.
Yeah. So okay, let's see how to explain this, then what happened on my horse, which is just a minute. Okay, right here. All right, well, I'll just explain it on this one first. Now, what you were explaining and what we know is that it can get bound from the toe and bend back, or it can get bound from the heels and it does get pulled under and forward, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
but it also binds from the lateral to the medial, like squishing it together.
Yeah.
The
Like
hoof becomes narrower.
Like where you call it oh boy, my brain is dead. Not compressed heels. What do they call it?
Like contracted.
Contracted. That's a word I'm looking. Contracted heels. Okay, but there's this other thing that I've seen go on. Let me get the annotate. And this is what I'm seeing come undone on my horse. Just a minute. Okay. Okay, this deal happens here. Okay, now you know that on the foot that you've got your bulbs are separate, right? Okay, and we have been seeing it, but not to the degree that I've been seeing. Still been missing part of it, and that is your bulbs. This is a bulb right here.
Yes, that's the bulb being pulled under. Yeah.
Okay, it not only gets pulled under like this way, you know.
Yeah, it curls.
Yeah, they literally get twisted in and bound into the frog like this.
Yes, then it looks like it's part of the frog, but it's not. You can see the color is completely different.
Yeah, like that. So it, you know, so it's not only if it's not only that your heels, let's see, are unbinding and coming up this way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's that they're coming out from here.
Yes,
like
it must
this.
push open.
Yeah,
it must
they're
open up.
literally coming out from there.
It's almost like it's unfolding from the inside out and separating by the frog stay.
Yeah, it's like they've been not only pulled under, but then
also curled under.
Curled in like this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I made a video about that a while back. I think I posted it on TACT, yeah, and I was showing with a pencil how the frog actually curled under into the
okay, well, somehow I must have missed that or something.
It was a while back. It must have been more than a year.
Crap. Well, see how when you miss things, you know, because that's something you were already seeing, but it wasn't, it just was not dawning on me. You know what I mean?
You're seeing it now. That's the main thing.
Yeah, well, duh. Okay. Because Facebook is not always the best place. See, well, and then I haven't had a hoof chat for a long time, and I really haven't.
Well, I haven't been on it for a while now because the time was just out for me. You know, I mean, at 3 o'clock in the evening, I just couldn't. The morning, basically.
Yeah.
I couldn't keep my eyes open. So basically, this is a great time to do it.
Well, oh, good. I'm glad it works out. I'm glad you're able to be here. And stuff. And so let me undo this here. So so this is what I'm seeing come undone on my horse.
Yes.
See, now a lot of the other unbinding came undone, but there was still, okay, you know, when me and you were talking about the periopal and how thick it gets.
Yes.
Okay, and I hadn't really talked to you for a while about that, but the last time I did my horse, I took his frog way down, and because of course his foot's already pretty much unbound, you know, but I just had an idea about that periopal that it was still holding something, you know, and so oh, somebody's not muted and they're making noise. Oh, there we go. Thank you. Oh, nope. There it is again. Oh, let me undo this mute thing here. Clear all drawings. Let me just show you this here. Let me get up a picture, different picture. Pictures. Okay. Just a minute. Undo that. I'm going to show you a picture of my horse's frog and frog stay from when I did that in January. Okay, and what happened in the meantime, which, you know, like I say, it's been really wet here and stuff. So hold on here a second. and I'll get the picture up. I wonder if this will work. Wait a minute. Let me see. Screen share. Okay, so I got my pictures here, but I want to see if get down to Valor here. Huh. Why am I not finding the pictures I made last night? Oh, March. Okay. Wait a minute. I know it's here. Okay, right here. Did that bring a picture up?
There's a picture on the side here of Valid's foot.
Oh, okay. Let me reshare here. Okay. Okay.
There we go.
You see that? So coming to an understanding of the periopal and how when the feet get bound, how this, okay, we saw on that other horse how his bulbs, how they went in. Let me annotate here. Okay, how they went in really bad like that.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So I just had an idea that might be going on here, you know.
Yes.
And so I took my grinder, basically my Dremel.
Yeah.
Now, okay, when we have these hoof chats and I share some of this doesn't mean you're supposed to just go do this, okay? Because I mean, you know, this to me was semi-experimental, you know, but everything is, because from the moment I started seeing that the heels were bound and everything, I mean, what do you think that is? What are you doing? You know, well, I think they're bound, so I'm going to try and unbind them. Well, nobody's ever done that before because nobody knew they were bound, right? So what is that? It's called an experiment, right? And then come to find out, but my experiment is based on every time I find something that I believe to be an anatomical truth. And if I then, 9 times out of 10, if I then apply what I'm seeing, I'll see the foot respond, and then I know it's the truth, you know? And so I just had a feeling that over all the years with the foot being trimmed out, that this periopal skin, because I'd been really making some discoveries about the periopal, that the periopal skin was thick and it was still kind of binding my foot here. So in January, I took his frog down and I opened up that periopal skin that is over the frog stay right here. You see the frog stay?
Yeah.
Okay. So then, of course, he's had some sort of injury I didn't know of right here. But anyway, so then now this is what I have now because I opened that up. His frog stay developed more and opened up more and got wider. Do you see it there?
Yeah,
see,
yeah.
It was just like this, very narrow. Now it's like this. See it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, notice on him, the bulbs, you got about like this.
Yes, it's still got to come up a little.
You know, yeah, right there. But here,
it's curled even more.
It went around even more. See? So what I'm seeing is the whole frog moving back.
Yes.
What happened was when I went out, and I hadn't taken even pictures in several months, you know. And so yesterday when I went out and I was taking pictures of this foot, I found something really, really, really interesting, which I'm going to show you here just a minute. And this might help on this horse we're looking at too, you know. But I found this deal. Just a minute here, and I'll get this picture up again. Got to reshare. Now, usually, I didn't even see it when I first take pictures, but usually, you know, I go take pictures, and then I was going to do another video on just doing a kind of a basic trim type of deal. And of course, I was sitting there and I had the camera on, and I thought, okay, what do I want to start with? Okay, well, I'm going to trim. They need to trim the apex of the frog back. That's what I'm going to tell them. Okay. And so I picked up my knife and I picked up the foot and I looked, and this is what I found. Just a minute. Screen share. Maybe you've seen this happen too, Riza.
Is that where you clean the curtain? Or
Yeah.
draw the curtains?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the curtain.
Yeah. The curtain was closed, so you opened it.
Yeah, I opened the curtain, man.
Yeah. I actually did something like that. And who's this shared on? Somebody? Oh, yeah. Remember who came up with the curtain story?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I actually did two pictures, and I said the one is like, look what I found. I found a curtain, and then the very next picture I cut it out like you did there. And
Good.
I said I just changed the drapes.
I just changed the drapes. That's right. I just opened the curtain.
Yeah.
And so
It was meant as a joke, but I think it was more taken as
yeah. So I
Oh,
went to trim the apex of the frog, and this is what I found. The apex had moved itself.
it moved back, yes.
Yeah, way back. The whole frog. The whole frog.
So the whole frog moved back and opened up at the back as well.
Yeah.
So the bulb was moved up as well in that same process.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole thing. This area opened up. Okay, now the reason this is important is because of this, because, you know, studying these wild horse feet, good wild horse feet, not, you know, where they've been starved down to nothing, wore their feet out, you know, things like that, but a young wild horse. So I want to show you a couple things here. Real quick. Let's see, just a second here. Get down here. Go into my wild horsey pictures here. Okay, just a second. Okay. Okay, now I'm gonna new share. Stay with me. Let's see. And then we'll come back to this foot, all right? And but I want to share this first because it might, this was what I was gonna share anyway, but okay. Okay, so this is a wild mare that killed herself in a cattle guard in, I guess it was Northern California. Why is not my thing getting bigger? Anyway. Okay, I want you to look at the back of the frog, where it's at. Am I sharing?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
You can see
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so let me annotate here. Okay, so when the foot gets bound, okay, we know it's pulling this all down and under like that. Okay, this all down and under like so, but at the same time, it's taking this frog and coming in like that. See what I mean? And the bulbs. So they're not just being pulled down, they're being pulled, sucked in, rolled in.
Towards itself, rolled in, yeah.
Yeah. And so what I'm seeing is the frog on my horse right here come back out now this way, so that he, see, when Gene Ovenick did his study in his diagram, he shows that they had full posterior frog support. That means that they had this frog sticking out behind their foot.
Yeah, behind the heels, actually.
Behind the heels. Here's the heel. Let me undo again. Okay, here's your heel. All right. But here's the frog sticking out behind the heel. So that would be the true foot of the horse. See, now you can see why they want to bring the heels back. If you keep bringing the heels back, it just trims the heels out and it rolls everything forward.
Yes, yes.
You know, so that would be the true foot of the horse. In the heel configuration, that frog is clear back here, supporting the whole back of that foot. Isn't that amazing? And that's what I'm seeing come to pass on my horse. When I opened up the frog curtain, as Bracy Clark says, which I'd like to find where he wrote that, but anyway, which is just periopal skin. You know, they have periopal skin around the whole circumference of the foot. But it covers over the back of the frog, or the back of the frog's stay. And when the foot gets real distorted and the hoof capsule becomes smaller, the periopal becomes more condensed and thicker. And so it really does bind the foot. And of course, that's also meant as a protective measure for the horse to keep the capsule on the foot. You know, so I also believe that you can't just go taking periopal off at random. You know, what we kind of take off is okay, but I do think you also have to be careful, because I think you can take off too much. And if you have a strong pull on the DDFT, that you can actually rotate the foot before you unbind it and actually grow more hoof capsule in. So I think we cannot just indiscriminately and wildly totally remove periopal per se. But anyway, let me so that's that wild horse, and you see full. Okay, so now I want to show you this picture of Gene Ovenick's diagram. Let me see, because just a second here. Hold on. Oh well, here we go. Let's see. Okay, you see his diagram there? This is, and everybody should read his article that on the study that he did, which I'll post too. So anyway, after taking board imprints and measurements and everything of all these wild horses, this is what he found, that they had full posterior support right here in the frog. See, so how do they try and get that now? Superficially, by taking the heels down to the base of the frog. They think that they are mimicking this wild horse trim, because they don't realize that what's going on with our domestic horses in the binding of that foot and the reduction of the hoof capsule is just taking heels back or down is not going to do it. You have to totally regrow in the whole back of the hoof capsule and release the foot so that the frog grows correctly, so that the frog actually has that the frog is actually coming out and it's actually behind the heels here. You can't trim that, you know. And this wild horse that Pete Ramey found in a cattle guard, okay, she was frozen because it was winter, and she was only 3 years old. So she had not overworn her feet because, you know, they can bind their own foot. If they're in a circumstance where there's little to eat and the terrain is very, very rugged, they'll wear their own heels out and do the same basic thing that we do to them when we over trim the heels. So so anyway, this is what I was finding, was that when I released this area here, it enabled that whole frog to pull back. And so, you know, there's been times when I have been doing this trim that I would come out and I would do the mapping and it would all be off because when I would trim back to the true apex of the frog, my toe would be 1/4 of an inch longer. I mean, I've had the whole foot shift in the last 4 years. Well, how long have I been? Since about 2000, the end of 2015. I've had the whole foot shift a number of times 1/4 of an inch, to where on occasion I would take back the true apex of the frog and it would have pulled back, and it made my toe too long. So I would have to take the toe back. And because, you know, as you trim out the heels, it puts all of the horn tubules on a forward slant, growing forward. And so slowly you're bringing them all back and standing them back up, and that whole hoof capsule shifting back, and your whole foot is shifting. And kind of what I'm seeing on this frog corium. Just a minute. Let me get a picture of this here. Hold on. This is not a good foot, but still, I want to make a point. There we go. Okay, so this covering of the foot, the coriums, is like a sock. You know, it's like a thick sock almost. And it other than the bone, you know, the whole back of the foot, of course, is movable. But another thing that happens is it can be pushed, like the apex of your frog here can be stretched forward like this. And so as you're correcting the foot, the apex of the frog, and it's released, the anatomy itself. Well, you can imagine your digital cushion and your bulbs and everything's pulling up back here, you know? And so the whole frog corium can get pulled back, just like the whole thing can be pulled forward, you know? So I have seen, there were times when mechanically I could move the true apex back up to 1/4 of an inch, and there would be sole underneath it. And so then, see there, we'll make that bigger. So this is all soft, you know, like a big, thick, fat, rubbery sock. And so, just a minute here. Okay, so then it comes when I pick up his foot to trim it after, what is it, be 8, 9, almost 10 weeks. Okay, and very wet here. I find this, which is similar to if I would have come and found that his whole foot had shifted, but I had to mechanically trim the frog back. Instead, his whole frog had pulled back because I'd trimmed it down enough that it could do that. And the gap that was here that used to be filled up with periopal skin, and all this was pulled in like that. The whole frog has now shifted back like this. Now, I noticed too, he also had some bruising right in here. And I think that is because you figure, just a minute. Let's look at this other picture here. Okay, you figure if the whole frog is pulled forward here and bound by the growth of the frog. Just a minute. Because see, this is what happens with every little bit of incorrect trim or wear and change of the shape of the hoof capsule. It pulls the foot into that shape, and then the hoof capsule grows from the position and shape of the foot that it's pulled into that shape. And so the growth binds the foot in that position. And then, of course, because there's distortion, chances are it's going to get more distortion, which is going to pull the foot even a little bit more into that distortion. Then there's going to be more growth. There's going to be some wear and some growth that then binds the foot into that position. And so this happens over a long period of time to where the capsule is distorted and the foot is pulled into the distortion. And nobody realizes it's even going on for centuries. And they just think horses have all kinds of different feet. And so, so then if the horse gets in a situation where he starts wearing some of that distortion off, or there's moisture and his foot can start moving, then or you're trimming the horse and you're removing some of that growth, because that's really what we're doing. We're removing growth that shouldn't be there to try and loosen stuff up so the foot can move and start growing the capsule from a new position. But we haven't really understood what the true foot of the horse is. There's so many different distortions and forms that it can take on, so many counterfeits to the true foot of the horse. And so of course, just a minute, sorry, gotta have a drink of water. Okay, so here's here's your apex of the frog here. So if all this is forced and pulled forward, forced back, pulled forward here, it affects all the sole corium here as well. See? And so then when this is released and you get enough moisture, well, it's gonna, because see, it is like a sock. The corium is, even though there are different coriums, like you have frog corium that grows frog, you have the sole corium that grows the sole, it's still one unit here. It's still all attached to each other, like your skin. Your skin, it's all, your skin is all one unit. When you pull on one part of your skin, it pulls on another. That's why we get facelifts. Okay, so when this releases, it's going to pull on the rest of this stuff. See, and start pulling it back to where it's supposed to be. Because when this was pushed forward, it was pulling on all of this sole here as well. Okay, so just a minute here. So we'll go back to that. Go back to this foot now. So I'm surprised to find that I don't really have to trim back to the true apex of the frog, because he's already done it himself. That whole frog, the whole frog has moved back. And as a result, it has affected all the sole in here. Now, he was not sore-footed or anything. Of course, it's wet as heck out here, you know. So maybe if I got him on hard ground, he might go ooh ah, but he's not sore-footed. He's got about an inch of sole under his foot. This horse has a lot of sole now. But what was interesting was this part here, because if the frog moved back here, it's pulling on the sulcorium here as well. See, wanting to pull it all back. So I thought, okay, I'm going to map his foot, and literally his toe is up to 1/4 of an inch longer than it should be according to the mapping. So then I had to decide if I was going to take his toe back that much, you know, which I wound up taking it back almost that much, not quite, but he still had a ton of sole here. But see, that's something too. People do need to learn how to take these toes back, or your foot is just going to stay in a state of limbo, you know, always stretched forward. But anyway, so this was interesting. And in the end, I trimmed his foot. He still had a ton of, he had 2.5 inch heels here. See, so I took his heels down to 1 7/7 inch, and I had full new live sole in both heels. See, and I went ahead and took his walls down pretty good, trimmed up his frogs, stuff like that. But anyway, this was something interesting that I found that I believe is leading to the understanding of the true foot of the horse. So anyway, and what another thing, what?
Linda, it's Angeliki. May I ask, if you don't have a frog stay, how can you unbind the back of the foot the way you did it?
I didn't think you know, first of all, you're unbinding like the way Riza says, you know, first you've got to grow in heel so that the back of the foot starts lifting up and being pushed up. And the thing about it is, as soon as you quit trimming the heels and you allow some room, and as long as you're trimming the frog and keeping a good frog, the frog growth itself is going to start pushing the back of the foot up. And so it's just the overall gradual process. You know, for me, this was just like not the final step, but it was finding out that part of the problem is that when you get that periopal skin can in fact bind that frog under. I had never trimmed that part of the periopal skin before like that. And I'm not necessarily suggesting people go run and do that, you know. There's still more that we need to understand about it, but let me show you here again what I had going in January. See, I got nice concavity, but I really trimmed my frog down, and for the first time I opened this area up of that skin, because I had even though I knew that the periopal skin surrounds this whole part of the foot, okay, well, your frog stay is right here too. See, your frog stay is right there. Covering it over right here is periopal skin. You see this? That's periopal skin right at the back. And so that can get really thick and really bound up to where it's keeping, you know, your foot from coming unbound. I had never trimmed that part of it before. And so because of finding out some things about what a man named Bracy Clark called it, he called this periopal skin that covers the back of the frog stay, he called it the frog curtain. Okay.
Yeah.
Now the frog stay is not a frog curtain. Okay. The periopal that covers the back of it, he called it a curtain. To me, it's just periopal skin, but because he called it that, it got me to thinking,
But with the curled, as the picture you showed from the horse with the problem, where
Yeah.
can somebody cut? I mean, you cannot interfere in that area because there is nothing in there.
Yeah, well, let's look at it again.
Yes, thank
You
you.
know, I don't know. But I did notice that, see, that he is really bound up in this way, in the frog.
Yes, he has no frog stay at all.
So let's,
They are all sucked in.
where's he at? I'm gonna have to go find him again. Just a minute.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, for some reason, things aren't showing up like they're supposed to. Hold on. I need to close some things, I think. Let's see. Huh. Show all windows. Oh, just a minute. I'm having a hard time finding him. So let me close some things off here. Oh, do. Second here. Okay, now I can get it. I guess if you get too many windows up here, then you can't find it. So just a second. Okay, so here we are with him again. Let's turn him around. Okay, so to me, see this, what's happened is, I'll bet you there is dead frog up in here that's been there for years. That's binding this horse's bulbs and heels forward up in here. Well, of course, if you take all this bulb and you pull it in this way and you bind it in this way, then what's it doing? It's just like I just showed you with the frog corium apex. When that thing is pulled forward, what's it doing? It's moving everything beside it, you know? And so when this horse's bulbs are pulled way in, like look at this crack right here. This horse has probably some deep, Riza, wouldn't you imagine that this crack goes in pretty far, actually?
Yes, it would. I would clean it out. I've cleaned it out many times
Yeah.
with horses like that.
Yeah.
And I've seen it unbind. So with that picture where I've done that, where it says, where I did that, the curtain covering the thing. And so I just went in with my knife and changed the drapes. So I basically went in
that's
and
awesome.
cleaned it up, you know. So basically, so you got to clean that up anyway. I mean, part of your trimmer, I think, with the horse like this, because this is also, like you say, it's a factor of binding the foot in three ways: forward, sideways, and actually curling in and holding it there.
Yeah, three-dimensional, huh?
Yeah. So basically clean that up. And what will happen is you will find that things will start to release. And if you really look at where that point of that bulb is, it's so far under this foot, curling towards your collateral groove, in fact.
Yeah.
So it's almost like it's rolling. It's almost like you've got two rollers that
Yeah.
that actually runs and pushes to the side. You know what I'm saying? So the cleft here is where you'd probably put the washing in, that old washing machines with the two rollers, and it just moves to the side, the two rollers. So that's what's happening to this heels here. So
Yeah.
for that to come back, to reverse that, you got to clean all that up to basically try and get everything to move back and shift back. But it's going to happen slowly. I mean, I'm surprised the one horse that I've been doing now, it happened quite quickly and opened up nicely. But the thing is once you start cleaning that area, your frog stay on the inside will also help pushing things wider, and then you got to release the outside to facilitate that whole scenario. So you can get that wheels to basically open up wider and uncurl at the same time. And it's going to happen at the same time because it takes a while. So it does in small increments. As it widens, it opens up. It opens up in the frog stay area. I mean, I had a horse where I could only get the knife in there, and now I can get my thumb in there.
Wow.
So it takes time, but you got to keep on cleaning that area. You got to keep on cleaning that area. Every trim, you got to go in there, clean that area, make sure there's nothing binding it together. Give it a chance to open up.
Yeah, I can imagine there's a ton of dead frog in there.
Yes, that's just holding everything.
Holding it, cause see, I found that on my pony that, cause I was kind of doing the same thing to her that I was doing to Valor, where I was just really thinning down. Now, now what I say here, I'm not suggesting people just go run do this, okay? But I was keeping a boot on this one foot because it was dry. It had been dry and there was no real moisture. And so I was keeping a boot on that foot because I really wanted to see what would happen if I really put the moisture to it, which I was using DF Crosley's hoof paste, which works excellently, by the way, in unbinding and loosening up periopal in the foot and stuff, because it's even though it's more like a lotion, and it doesn't affect it like just water would. It loosens everything up. But anyway, I was just seeing on this one foot if I could really get the back of that foot open. And don't remember where I was going with this. Okay. On the pony, as I was doing this, because I was keeping her booted because her feet are still bound and I have had a really hard time getting them unbound. And I've noticed that as I would keep trimming the frog, I would be trimming along here and my knife would hook into something and I would pull up a piece of dead frog that had been embedded way up into her foot for probably years. Because you got to think of it like this. Let's go back to this foot here. Okay, here's the foot. It grows the frog, and you want it to grow nice, supple frog that wears off and gets trimmed off and gets renewed because, and stuff, and that fits to the shape of this, right? Well, when all this is getting bound up and incorrectly trimmed, this is folding in right here. And the frog that you were growing, that the horse was growing, is being folded in and under so that now your frog is not, because your frog will actually quit growing once you have nothing but a piece of dead frog right in here that's been folded into the foot. That frog isn't going to grow there anymore, and it's going to get covered up by other things. It can get covered up by sole that grows and by dead sole. And so what happened was I kept finding pieces of dead, hard, stiff frog coming up out of the foot, And then I started. So anyway, what Riza's saying here, that's why you have to get, so you can clean this out, because this frog looks dead to me, doesn't it, to you, Riza?
Yes, there's a lot of debris in that area that can be removed, because it's been rolled in with the two bulbs rolling together and pushing everything, pulling everything down and forward. A lot of stuff is trapped in there, and it's stuck there. So you got to open it up so things can move back.
Yeah. And have to get some moisture to it without getting it, fully thrushy, I guess, and stuff like that. But
moisture helps a lot to soften that up, so you can actually cut it easier with your knife. That is why what I've done with a lot of horses now is I made a broad bar shoe, and I put the dental impression material in that area. And what it does is, because the dental impression material, when it kind of sets, it becomes like a rubber. So it's like having a rubber boot on your foot. If you have those rubber boots on your feet, your feet get sweaty and hot, and becomes moist, and the skin actually turns a different color. So now what that does, it does that the same thing to the frog. So it keeps it in that area where it needs to unbind and everything, supple and soft and everything. So the foot, as it grows, it moves. It can actually move. So the frog is actually becoming more, if you can call it, supple and softer and easier to move. And also because of the wear, sometimes a little bit of sand gets in between. I mean, not a lot. I mean, I took a pad off today, and I was surprised to see the amount of sand, which was like a couple of grains. Really, it wasn't really anything to write home about. Because I was thinking, because I thought maybe that the sand packed in there, and that maybe could cause the horse to be a little bit of could cause a bit of pressure, and that's why I took it off. And when I took it off, I found basically no sand in there, but the little bit of sand that was in there, as the foot moves, it's almost like a little sandpaper, so it like wears down that frog and whatever, all the dead stuff, and it wears down the dead stuff. So the frog was kind of soft and supple, and I could see the foot has moved quite a bit. I mean, I take pictures. I must just make a post and show you guys what happened there.
Yeah, I'd like. Did you get some pictures?
Yes, I did.
But you can't. You're not able to share right now, or are you? Hello. Uh-oh. Where'd he go?
Yeah, I said I'll make a post and everything.
Okay. Make a post. Okay.
Yeah. So you guys can have a look at it and see what's happening there.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll do that. And especially that's the one that I did today. But I've found with a lot of horses with problems that I've had, making that wide bar shoe was actually helping quite a lot.
Helping, I could see why. Yeah.
If I may.
Yeah, go ahead.
The problem is that everybody is asking, what do I have to cut? How do I do it? And they have no motion at all of TACT anatomy and of TACT trimming. So they ask you, what should I cut? That's the problem, Linda.
Yeah.
And you have to draw down or to show them, and they say, okay, I've done this, I see no result, because time is very important. I mean, people who do not understand of anatomy, they cannot expect, they do expect things to be done very quickly. That's one of the problems. And if you see the 6 months ago hoof picture, is the same hoof is changed a lot. But 6 months is a lot of time for people who want to see a result.
Yeah. See,
and
we can't.
Now the problem.
Instant gratification.
Yeah, we can't do anything about that. You know, they have to be educated on why it takes time. You know,
So basically, the
you
only
know,
way you can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I said, yeah, what I say is, in a case like that where they ask you where must they cut, you tell them not to cut, but what needs to grow.
Hey, there you go.
You know.
Yeah. You know, when you just have a baby and stuff, well, I want him in college now. Okay, well, he's got to grow up, you know, and stuff. Yeah, that's a really good way to put it. You tell them, hey, it's not what you cut, it's what you got to grow, and it's what has to move. Because like what I was just explaining, what happens, little bit of cutting wrong and the shape of the container changes, and then that thing that's in the container, it moves it, you know, and so yeah, so you're growing, and plus releasing and restoring. I mean, this is like physical therapy or something, you know. It doesn't happen overnight, you know, or like when you break an arm, you know, it has to heal. So you're going through a whole healing process as well. You know,
Yeah.
so I don't, there's nothing we can do too much for people that are going to be that impatient other than educate them and tell them, try and be able to explain why it takes time, you know. Um, let's see, let's look. Okay, so we're going to look at this foot some more. Da, 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 da. Where am I at here? Okay, I got to close some stuff out. Just a second. I got way too many windows open. Hold on. Just a second here. Okay. Okay. I still got too much open. It's not letting me. Just a second. No. Okay. Let's see if it'll let me do it now. Oh. Okay. I see that. Zoom. Not too zoomy sometimes. Screen share. Well, this is getting frustrating because it's not letting me share what I need to share because I have too many windows open. Hold on. Sorry about this. Let's see. Let's do that one. Let's see. Oh my goodness. I have a ton of windows everywhere. Okay, let's just a second. Maybe now. Still not letting me share right. Just hold on. Okay, try it again. Hold on here. Let's see. Share screen. Okay, I found it. Sometimes you get too many windows open and it's not going to let you. Okay. Do you see what does it have the Facebook page up? The video? Crying out loud. That's one unbalanced horse.
Yes, it does.
Okay. So we're just going to look at the videos of him walking. That's terrible. Poor guy. Can you imagine how that's messing that horse's joints up? Huh. Let's look at this one. Oh, wait a minute. Well, I mean, we can understand why he walks that way, right? So,
Sorry, but I lost connection. We have a storm here, and I was some minutes without any connection.
okay. Well,
I lost something.
Riza said one thing. We just have to educate them, and they have to realize it's not about what you're supposed to cut. It's that you're growing, and you are restoring the foot to its original place, and it didn't happen overnight, and it's not going to get cured overnight. You know, isn't there some great Greek philosopher you can quote him on that or something? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
you know, aren't you Greeks supposed to have a lot of wisdom? You know?
Right. I'm trying my best. You know, everybody knows that I'm trying my best to educate people.
I know you are. Educate the educated.
Yeah.
Well,
That's odd.
you know what I see here? First of all, I see that because his because his heels are so bound in and pushed up that it's also shoving everything inside and making it pooch out right here. There's a lot of pressure right here. It's shoving the whole digital cushion up and then out back this way back here. And so, you know, this could just be from pressure, you know, because if there's nothing hitting him, it could just be the constant pressure on the skin. I mean, to me, it looks like you could stick a pin in that and it'd blow up. And that's not the way bulbs are supposed to look, by the way.
Owner says that it's like a browsing. When one thing hits another, but
Yeah.
You know, it's very superficial, but it is painful for the horse.
Well, yeah.
Not a cut. It's
Yeah.
brushing. How can I say? I don't know the exact word.
Well, this is probably all shoving up into here, and you know that it's not supposed to be. This is not supposed to look like that. You know,
Yes.
This is not supposed to be so pooched up and stuff like that. I can see where the confusion came in there, because Riza thought he was reaching in with the hind foot and hitting himself, right, Riza? Is Riza still here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You thought he was interfering, right?
Yeah, I thought what I was thinking was, I thought where the cuts are the inside or the medial side.
Yeah.
And what happens is that because of the feet not being correct, like we can see, it's very bound. It actually tries to probably deviate from its normal movement, and the flight pattern of that other foot is changed so much that it's actually brushing past that foot and catching it with the shoe on, will like nick it like that.
Yeah, what we call interfering.
Yeah.
You know, where if it was a front foot reaching forward, you know,
an overreach.
It would be what do you call that? I had it.
A speedy cut,
Overreaching. Yeah. And so, but what I think it is, I think there's just so much pressure on these bulbs that there's inflammation, and it's just splitting the skin, you know, it's just irritating and rubbing and
I think what it is, it's probably brushing at some stage, but sometimes there's such a lot of pressure there that any little nick or bump on it is going to cause a lot of pain for that.
Yeah. And so you know, being on the lateral side, on a back foot, you're going,
Doesn't
You
make
know,
sense.
and then look at
I-
here. He's got some scar in there too from something. So the skin is damaged anyway, maybe in this area. And
Do you think there is any practical way to protect this area? He tried to put some of these bells, and he did nothing.
Yeah, no, bell boots, I don't think it'd work. In fact, they just rub that area worse. There was, I don't know what you could do for that.
I told him to try to put a sock, a human sock.
You normally get these brushing boots that goes way down that can catch, that stops the actual nicking of it. So you can get a brushing boot or like an overreach boot that you can try and put on there and see if it helps. Some horses, I mean, in some cases they used to put those little rings around there. It's almost like a rubber little ring that they put around that area. So if it does knock, it knocks against the ring, but not against the actual skin. But
because it's inside the under the fetlock, in this area, the hollow area under the fetlock.
yes, yes, that's exactly where he nicks himself. Yeah.
Anyway, thank you all for your help. We'll see. I have to talk with him and to explain. Well, I always explain what is going on, but it depends on the owner now to.
Yeah.
To understand what's going on and what needs to be done.
Yes.
I want to just see something. Just a minute here. I do want to look at something else here real quick in this regards. Hold on. I'm putting something in paint. So hold on.
Yeah.
Such a tremendous, horrible imbalance in the foot. It's affecting the whole thing. I imagine there's a ton of inflammation in the skin and everything. So, just a second here. Paste.
Yeah, with the foot being so bound up, it's probably got such a lot of imbalance in that foot, which is causing that foot to basically deviate from its natural flight pattern.
Yeah.
Which then causes an issue on the other leg. So, I mean, to me, that is what my understanding of it was. But I'd have to really look at it now again if it's not on the medial side there.
Okay, I'm gonna show this picture. Just a second.
And this is a Paso Fino. It's a sidewalker.
Oh, okay.
It's a Paso Fino horse.
Okay, I'm going to switch here to look at this. Where are we at? Okay. Well, of course. Oh, there it is. All right. Okay, so I put these together. Now, is that his foot? So this would be right over here on this foot. I guess. That doesn't even look like the same foot. Look what we got going here. All right, is anybody there? Hello?
I hear you. I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Okay, so here's the foot with the sore.
Yeah.
Okay, but that doesn't even look like it's not the same foot.
No, that's the foot that's brushing the other one. That's on the ground at the moment.
Oh, this is the foot that's brushing this foot.
Yeah.
So it is on the medial side.
That's what I can't understand why it wouldn't be on the medial side.
Okay, so see how confusing it gets? Well, I could see, well, I don't know, but wait, that's a different foot. That's a person's foot, isn't it? That's a human foot. God. But I know this is a different foot than this one.
Yeah, they are.
That's a different foot.
They
Okay.
pay.
This is the photo he
Supposed to
sent us.
pay.
What'd you say?
I say that this is the photos he sent. This
Okay.
is the foot he showed. He put the show on, and this is the wound, but it's not the same foot. I don't know.
Yeah. So
Oh
see,
God.
well, just see if they don't mark the feet. See, this is what I find too. When people post pictures, they don't mark the feet. It can get really confusing. You know, so I bet this is a medial side. You know, and it is like what Riza was saying. But holy cow! I mean, look how imbalanced this foot is. You know, and how much many problems it has. And so, you know, since the guy's a farrier, I mean, you know, unless he's gonna
I
learn
think he showed the.
what. Anyway, okay.
I think he showed the.
Huh. Oh well, we'll learn more about this
Linda,
later
I
time.
think he showed the wrong foot.
I think so too.
I
You know,
think he put a shoe on the wrong.
yeah, I think he did. And stuff. Irregardless, we can see how screwed up the feet are, and we see what farriers do. You know, this is not unusual. You know, this is why we're all here. You know, but it's still,
But
even though you're gonna have to talk to him and get what feet what straightened out. You know, the fact is that this foot that you shared is an example of what I wanted to talk about today anyway. Okay.
good.
That is about the threefold way, because Riza was just, I like the way Riza described it, like you had rollers right here, rolling it in. See, rolling it in. So your foot isn't just being pulled down and forced under. That's happening too. At the same time, it's like you got a roller here and it's rolling those bulbs in that way. See, into the center of the foot. So this is we're restoring the foot in a three-dimensional way. You know, there's three different ways it can bind up. From front to back, back to front, and then now we see it can roll within itself. See? So this is why you have to clean this area out. And because you get old dead frog in there, you don't even know it's there, holding all this in there. This is why it's so important to clean up the frog and get your frogs growing, get them supple. You know, I'm pretty sure his whole frog, he's kind of keeping it trimmed up, but it still looks real dead to me. You know, and so this is probably a white foot. This one, I don't know. But anyway, let's get on to another subject. Let's look at the homework people did. So I'm going to go to the mentor page. Dum, dum, dum. Actually, what I wanted, I kind of got distracted today. What I wanted to talk about today was how do you trim the pillars? You know, what is all going on with the pillars? That is really what I wanted to do. So I may do an extra hoof chat tomorrow just on, what is tomorrow? Thursday. I may do an extra one tomorrow specifically on the pillars, on resetting heels and on the pillars and how you trim them. Okay, because we kind of got into this deal today, which is okay. Sometimes you need to learn some of these things. What I've found about learning and education and self-learning is that what you always plan on isn't always where you go, but that you wind up learning something about a piece of the puzzle that fits into the overall program that you needed to know. Okay, so we're going to go to the Facebook page. And we're going to get right there. And so, Tiffany, I wanted to look at your horse's feet and at the markup you did. Now, is that on the mentor education page or is that on the equine foot health class page?
The mentor.
Okay. All right. So we're going to go to the mentor page.
I put it under a hashtag so you can find it faster.
Oh, you did? What does
I
that
did.
mean? You're
well,
pretty techie.
well, I've been called a lot worse. You were really funny last week and you said wing wang. So I put hashtag wing wang and it'll pop right up. If you look when you load the page, it'll be like, there it is.
How do you find hashtag wing wing?
It's right at the top of it. Like, it's like topics about this group and no one else put a hashtag in the group yet. So that's how I sorted my posts.
Well, see, because we don't know nothing.
Well, I'm happy to share back with you. You've given us so much.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Okay, so am I on the page? Do you see it? Wait a minute.
Yeah, I need to see it.
I may have to close off some more pages. Just a minute.
Okay.
These pages hide on you. And you don't even know you got them open. Okay. Just a second here. Okay, do I have it now?
You're on.
Mentor page.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, where do I find this now?
Look, see where it says popular topics in this group to the right, down a little bit.
Oh,
yeah, right there. Yeah.
I didn't even know that was there.
Click on hashtag wing wang because that's
okay. Wow.
There you go.
Okay.
And those are my.
Well, I think you. First of all, I want to say I really appreciate you doing your homework. You know.
Thank you. And that's not my homework. That's the other. Go scroll down a little bit more, please. Yeah, that's my homework.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. What was this one?
That was my question about the toe pillars because I understand I guess it's for tomorrow's chat. My question, the direction of the green is that how I'm supposed to angle the rasp to take down the toe pillar? But we don't have to discuss that today.
Okay. But yeah, you're right about that.
Oh, okay.
And stuff. Yeah, you're right about that. And like, look, when you just even look at this picture, you can see how the distance is so much longer from here to here than he is over here.
Yes.
You know?
Yay.
But okay, we are going to talk about this today. I don't care.
Okay.
We can go a little bit longer. Okay. I do want to talk about the toe pillars today. Okay. So here's the thing too, that you have to realize. Okay. Before you can, like, you're doing really good here in recognizing your horn tubules, like how that should go back. But before you will ever be able to get them to do that, you will have to grow in more heel. See, you'll have to release and grow in more heel. Probably.
Yeah.
That's at least that's how I started. I realized, of course, my heels were even maybe some shorter than yours. I realized if I had little tiny horn tubules here, that these big ones weren't going to push up them little tiny horn tubules. So I had to grow them longer. You see the reasoning behind that? I had to grow them longer so that these would be able to push them up. And then what I was going to do after I got them pushed up, I was going to trim them off again. But thank goodness I found out that they were supposed to be long before I cut them down again. Except I didn't on my pony. See, I was doing the same thing on my pony. See, you get trimmed out heels, and then you start thinking, you trim your heels out, and then you start thinking, well, my heels are run forward. They can't help but actually be run forward. So you think, I've got to get the heels to stand up. You know, so that's what I was seeing on my, this was like in 2015. I was seeing this on my pony and on my gelding, and my mare too, for that matter, who's passed now. But so I thought, well, I need to get those to stand up. And so then I started growing them. I realized, like, structurally, I would have to grow the heels to get these horn tubules here to be able to kick them back up. And then once I grew the heels, then I would lower them again, because I had that whole image in my head that Barefoot Trimming had put in there. And so thank goodness I discovered, and when I was making a chart or whatever on the anatomy, and I was defining every little piece of the hoof wall, and I came to the back of the foot and I went, what's that? Oh, there's supposed to be a heel buttress there. It's supposed to be a certain height. Then it just, a bunch of stuff clicked together. And so, but a month before that, my pony's feet were looking so good, I trimmed the heels out again. And she's never, ever been the same since. So see, there's always that straw that breaks the camel's back. You know what I mean? And so, but on my gelding and on my mare, I didn't do that. I continued to grow the heels. And so they never suffered those really adverse effects. Okay, so, well, Sharon, if you're sending me a message, you should know that we're on Facebook, and it will be on the video, just so you know, whatever it's going to be. I'll say, hi, Sharon. Hi, you're on video. Okay, so, all right. Oh, I know, she says. Okay. Okay, as long as you know. I don't have a microphone. Oh, okay. Okay, well, shoot then. Speak away. What do you need to say? You need to ask a question, or did you have a comment? Now, Sharon is working on 3 horses that have been given to her at her stable, that were, if I say this right, they're all trained by the same farrier for 8 years. And so they were just given to her because, of course, they're lame, right? And she's having some good results. Okay, so Tiffany,
yes,
let's look at these. Let's see here. Well, I think you did a good job here. You're charting where the growth rings were, and is this a back feet?
Yes, it's his back right.
Okay, back feet, yeah. And see, like on my horse, it has taken me, okay, so this is October. So look, they've stood up some since then, haven't they?
Yes, and I think to the lady's point before, it takes time. And I think I've been so rushing him. I haven't been appreciating just how great his progress has been.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, that's a great thing for everybody to hear, you know. And what I've been finding too is like when I came and I looked at my horse's foot yesterday, a lot of times there would have been a time in the past when I would have been horrified at what I found, because, you know, oh, what happened to the apex of the frog? And oh my God, look at all this bruising and But see, once you start learning this anatomy, and once you know, see where their foot is supposed to be, and you see these odd, weird changes, okay, it really becomes a thing of beauty, because you know where you're going. See, you're not really looking always at where you're at, but where you've come from and where you're going. you know, and I see, yeah, for his foot to stand up like that is a really good thing. You know, for his heels right here, standing up more, very good. And look how it was pulled under here, you know, and it's definitely being more supported. The cartilage is being more supported here. So.
Well, we're thankful for you and your teams of people who post, because it's been really helpful to have a community, because we're by ourselves doing this. And this is scary to do by yourself.
Yes.
I'm sure you're the pioneer. I'm sure it's been gut wrenching at times, but
yeah,
you know, I've never held a rasp before. I've never done any of this or held a knife before.
wow.
I saw one of Riza's posts about taking off the periopal and I almost died thinking I had to do it, but I get it. I'm getting braver and doing little at a time.
Oh, wow. That's great to hear. And yeah, there's so many people out there alone, you know? And so what kind of is the history on your horse? Like kind of where did you come from?
So we met together at a boarding barn. He was 15. He's been shod for as much as I knew about his life. I purchased him about 18 months ago. And during COVID, I moved down from New York to South Carolina, where I took him barefoot. And we've been on our own for the past 6 months, which is the progress you'll see in our posts, is about a 6-month journey so far.
Wow.
It's been such a blessing. I've been so lucky that he's been a really good teacher. I haven't had many, I haven't, thank God, I touch wood, but I haven't had any major disformities that I've seen on some of the Facebook. So I've been really grateful to have such a great teacher, both in you and in Hefner.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah. Is that your horse's name?
Yeah. Oh yes, Hefner. He's a bit of a pervert. He likes boobs.
He likes boobs. Does he like to nuzzle you?
You said, just recapping, you said in you and Hefner. In you, Hefner.
You have
Yeah.
little play on words there. That's funny. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Now, what kind of horse is he?
He's a Dutch warm blood. He's 16-3 hands. I gave him 6 months off because we were in training mode and I overdeveloped his musculature incorrectly. So this time off, I've been able to get him to atrophy some of the overdeveloped muscles. And now we're just starting to work together again, first in hand. And then I'll go under saddle again if he's up for it. But yeah, this has been a really cool journey the two of us have been on.
It sounds like it. And so do you feel like he's starting to move? Does he seems like he feels a little better? Does he have a little more spring in his step?
For sure. Yesterday, we were in the paddock together. We have 5 acres. I don't know what that is in metric, but it's enough for us. And he started to work at liberty around me. And he was just showing me his beautiful movement. I had ridden him barefoot and he it's just more balanced. His body has changed incredibly. He's more sure-footed.
That's great.
Yeah.
And so you do liberty training too?
I mean, I don't do anything. I just make stuff up as we go along.
Okay. I
don't know what any of it means.
When you're saying at liberty, you mean he just didn't have nothing on him and he was being himself?
He was being himself and then he galloped around me and then we jogged off together and we just had a nice moment.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's been a cool, fascinating journey.
Well, I appreciate you doing the homework. I appreciate your testimony here, you know, and it's going to be great seeing, you know, how he really comes along when those feeder get even more, because I noticed their whole movement changes. I mean, dressage is wholly based on that movement. You know, and so how can they have that movement they were meant to have if they don't have that spring in their step, you know, and correct. Yeah. And without heels and without a frog stay and, you know, their bulbs and stuff up off the ground, how can they have that spring? Have you watched that one video, or I've done a couple videos on how the frog stay works?
Linda, I have been in a Linda J. Harris wormhole for about 6 months. I mean, my horse knows your voice.
Okay.
I've come up for air a couple of times. I don't know if I've seen everything, but I've seen a lot.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. Well, then you know that frog and those heels have so much to do with the buoyancy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the buoyancy, and that's what dressage to me is all about, is that beautiful movement that the horses have where they don't even look like they're touching the ground.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just so light on their feet. You know, that whole spring system they got going there in the leg, all right on down to the foot, you know. And I used to think, you know, in Pegasus, instead of having wings on his back, he should have wings on each side of his foot, you know, because that's where the flight comes from, is in those little feet. But anyway, okay, so we're going to look at this. We're going to look at this foot right here, and I'm going to explain some things about pillars.
Okay.
And because I was working with Amanda Smith to help her horse, and her horse had bound up pillars. And because I did not explain some of this stuff to her, and we mapped the foot and she trimmed down to specs, it really sored her horse. Okay. And I don't want to make that mistake. I don't want people making that mistake. And so they need to understand what goes on when your pillars get too long and all the ramifications that it has from the ground up into the hairline. See, and so your foot here is the perfect foot to explain this on. Okay, so what happens? Let me take this and put it in paint. Hold on. Da, 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 da. Copy. Paste. We'll do it twice. Okay, I got to reshare. See, now here's the thing too. If I make a mistake, I'm going to tell you about it. And I'm also going to keep trying to help the person straighten out whatever screw up happened. You know, and I'm going to tell you right now, that doesn't happen, because I have seen for years where these hoof people, they're making mistakes all the time, and people are trimming their horses into lameness, and then they'll just drop that person, because all you ever hear about are all their successes. And when they start having problems, they drop those people like a hot rock. Or, well, if they can't keep blaming it on what the horse is eating, you know, or something else, then that person gets dropped like a hot rock. There are a lot of people in TACT who paid a lot of money to people for classes and for this and for that and the other thing, and then had problems with their horses, and they just get cut off by those people, wouldn't respond to their emails, wouldn't this, wouldn't that. See, so we're not going to do that. And so I did a markup for Amanda, and I did it. I hadn't done a markup. I'm not going to make any excuses for myself. But anyway, I just did not fully explain to her that there are different things that can happen to this pillar. And so you cannot just always take a foot down. Okay, so like when we are, oh, let's see where to start. So, okay, so we pay attention to the vertical growth lines. You notice this one's over that way a little bit, to the vertical growth lines. And because this is like the hoof wall grid, just a minute, let me find it there. And here you see a growth ring. Can everybody see that growth ring I'm following there?
Yes.
Okay, so that comes down from up here, you know, and it's supposed to be shaped like the internal foot. So, and we can see here that this probably quite would, if we knew the shape of the internal foot, we would know that these two pillars, or what they call toe quarters. It was Gene Ovenick, I think, maybe him, it could have been somebody else, but he calls them pillars because he thinks they're there to stabilize the foot. And I don't agree with his interpretation. Okay. I think the only pillars on the foot are the two heel buttresses that stabilize the whole hoof wall. I don't think these pillars were meant to be stabilizers. And I will tell you why I think that his interpretation was wrong. Well, you may understand it after I get done with all this. So you got an inner foot on this horse, and so this wall has to follow the shape of the inner foot. Okay, because it's just an extension for the most part of that. So if we were to look at a dissected inner foot from the front without a hoof capsule on, then what would it look like? Well, we're going to go look at one here, just a second here. Let's see, pictures. Hold on. Okay. Now the toe's kind of worn off of this one, but you'll get the idea. Let's see. Got to share again. Okay, I'm going to reduce the size a little bit. Okay, I'm just going to take a photo of a copy of this and put it in next to paint. Let's see, where'd we go? Okay, just a second here. I'll take a copy of this and put it in paint next to your horse's foot there. And then we'll go back to there. So do some of this. Okay. Let's see. New share. See, this is the best way to look at things sometimes. Okay, now are you seeing, have I got that up? Is it up there?
Yes.
Okay. I also need to just go here, check on Sharon. She was in, okay. I don't have a microphone. Oh, dead lame. I don't know why she said dead lame, but those horses, some of those horses they gave her were dead lame. Oh, they weren't just lame. They were dead lame. That's right. Okay, I'm coming back now. Just a second here. I was just checking in Messenger on what Sharon was saying there. Okay. So now if we were, this is how I started figuring it out. Okay, and I did that on my mare. Let's see. I'll show you a picture of that, but we're just going to do what I did to figure it out. I took a foot like this and I looked at it from the front, and then I took a picture of my mare's foot and I looked at it from the front, and I saw that it did not look like that. Now, Tiffany, when you look at this foot here without the hoof capsule on it, and you look at your horse's foot, what do you see?
Well, I see that in Hefner's foot, it flares out to the sides too much, back by the quarters, and there's too much length in the front. Like it looks like there was breakover in the front, in the right, and in the, I want to say carcass, in the cadaver foot, in the front, the toe. There's like a yeah there.
And this is more to the side.
That's right.
Okay. And
there's
then what else do you see?
I see that his hairline is skewed from left to right. There's a slope. Yes,
yeah, right here.
Yes.
Okay.
But also, I'm a righty. I think I leave too much on the inside when I'm trimming. Does
Yeah,
that make sense? Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
that
that's
could
a human
happen.
error. That's me.
That could happen. And plus our eyes, we just don't see right with our eyes. That's why we use all these things to help us trim, because the growth rings follow. Here's your coronary band here. See how this coronary band goes in the hairline?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How does yours go?
Like a slopey face.
Yeah. And it's straight, right? Right there.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And then the bottom, we're not going to, the toe here, usually the toe, I don't know why that toe's worn kind of like that, but anyway.
Oh, I thought that was breakover. Sorry.
Should more look like that.
Okay.
About. Well, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe this is a new thing I'm seeing here. So this is the inner foot, and then the hoof capsule would look, if we were to look at it, it shouldn't look much different than that. See?
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't very good. My drawing ain't too hot. Let me undo some of this stuff. I'm going to draw around. Okay, so we would know that the hairline is supposed to be like that. When I looked at my mirror, her hairline was not like that. Okay. It didn't go like that. Okay. So what's that? The fact that, and then the bottom will be more like this. Okay. Okay. Now, if we follow a growth ring, we could see that it would make it that shape, right?
Yeah.
See there? Because the hoof wall is supposed to grow down like this in the shape of the foot. Okay, that's why I have you measure the center of the dorsal wall and come over 2 inches, and this is, and it should be about 1/4 of an inch shorter. If you come over 2 inches and you measure down to here, it should be about 1/4 of an inch shorter. See? And I'm just going on guessing technically. See? Now that,
yes.
now that's a little shorter there, but see, what I tried to do was I tried to mimic what I was seeing on the inner foot, the growth, and make the growth fit the foot. Now this foot from here to here is probably about 2.5 inches. So I knew that this had to be about 3 to 3.5, or the horse would have no sole under the foot, right? See? So here's what happens. Just a minute. If this is supposed to be the shape of the capsule, why isn't your horse's capsule that shape? For 2 reasons. One, allowing too much growth in the sides of the toe. Right here. See, if you keep an eye on your growth rings, that'll help you keep these pillars down some, like so. Now, come on. See the growth ring there?
Yes. I can use that as a guide.
Yeah, you can use it as a guide to a point. Okay. To a point, because now, just a minute, I got a cough. Okay, because now here's another problem. Instead of the wall being down like that, where is it? It's clear up here, right?
It's jammed up. Yeah.
Okay, so it's jammed up. So that means that it's been, the growth here has literally pushed it up past here into here.
Why?
See there? And so what you have to do, you can't just take the full length down here. Like if you were to measure here and then take this down 1/4 of an inch or whatever to be shorter than here, it's going to wind up being clear up here, and you're going to over shorten it because you're not taking into account the jamming wall here.
So just to say it differently, are you saying that when I take stuff off the bottom, it affects the top and I have to compensate for that top while taking off the bottom?
Yeah, it affects the top because
I see.
You could have, like, say your inner foot is in here. Oh God, how to explain this? Okay.
I understand. You're doing good.
Okay, you wouldn't want to over shorten this, because then you're gonna get too close to your inner foot. Here, it's gonna make the horse sore. You know, like if this is the inner foot, let's see, how could I do this? How could I explain this?
You're doing excellent because I understand what your intention is. So I
Okay.
get that I have to go a little bit, I have to be a little bit more patient to affect the top. I can slowly affect the bottom, but I can't rush it.
Yeah, you can't, you have to let the jamming come out. Okay.
Yes, because I think the sole on the underside is more bumpy there. So something wants to come out. I get it.
Yeah. I'm looking for me a measuring thing here so I can I do want to show something else. Okay, here's a file.
So while you look, I think to bring it back full circle to the other lady and what Riza was saying is not that what you take off, but it's what you have to let grow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
And let down as well, because this wall has jammed up here. So you see, the length here is the same as in the toe. Right here. I have a measure thing in my hand here. So the length right here is the same as right here when it's actually supposed to be at least 1/4 of an inch shorter. Okay. So if I measured this at say 3 inches, okay, and then I come over here and I want to take it down to 2 3/4. Okay, my 2 3/4 should be being measured from here, not from here, because this is jammed up wall. So you got excess jammed up wall here, and you've got excess length wall here. And so what you've got to do is you've got to work first on getting the jamming out of the wall so that this will drop down more right here, and not just arbitrarily say, well, it has to be this length over here. So you have to read your growth lines, and you also have to read the hairline. And then you can follow a growth line like what you got here. You could take your rasp and you could probably take it down right here. Okay. And you might be able to take some of this down right here and this here too. Okay. But then you're going to want to bevel it. Bevel it to let the jamming out here. If you were just to come up and accidentally measure from here and take it down, you'd probably take it down to about there.
Too much. Okay.
And you see how that would be too much?
Yes.
You have to like I keep, I'm trying to understand it. So oh my God. So, okay, are people kind of understanding what I'm saying here? You have to recognize when your wall is jammed up here, and you can't just come and arbitrarily measure the what it would be if the capsule was correct. See, right there.
The other thing that you also got to note is that when you do the work from the bottom of that foot, you can always use your sole plane as your guide as well, because if it's long there, that wall would have grown past your sole plane, and whatever is sticking up higher should be taken off and then relook at it, because then you've now basically leveled your foot as such, and then do your measurements from there and see maybe you need to take a little bit more, maybe you're going to leave it for a little bit before till that one tuples drop down a bit, and then do it again. So you can't just do everything at once. So you got to do it in stages. So once that one tuple starts dropping down, it's going to go past your sole plane anyway. So then you take that down again. So until you get that jamming out, then you can start measuring your actual pillar length correctly.
Okay, so if you go back to the Facebook page, this was the before I used the trim, and then I trimmed him and I took a picture after.
Okay, just a second, and I will do that. I'm putting something else on there right now real quick too, to make a point here. Let's see. Okay. Okay, just a second here. Okay, do you see that I put the sole view on? There, is it on there?
Yes, there's a sole view there.
Okay, another thing is, so we check this way for sure, your measurements on the dorsal wall, plus reading the growth rings, you know, just a minute here. Let me take a copy of this and undo this thing here. Hold on. Let me take off some of these marks on here. Okay, so yeah, your length for sure, your length, and then your growth rings you're reading, because look here how much wider it is here than it is over here. The length between the growth rings. See, and you can see there's a little extra there's a little extra growth ring right here, like it would probably go like this. See? Okay, so you see there the length. Although another thing is that usually it gets wider in the toe and it starts getting narrower back here. You know, as you go towards the back, it's going to be getting more like that and stuff. So looking at the symmetry of your growth rings, looking and checking on the jamming. Another thing is, if you see ripples in the wall like this, okay, ridges, that means that not only has the wall jammed up as far as it will go, but now there's so much pressure that the wall is compressing. So you need to be aware that not only can your wall be pushed up, okay, where you still have a horse's foot in here at the same basic level, okay, but not only can your wall be jammed up, but then if you don't start getting that pillar down or that wall wherever it is, then it will start compressing. See? Now what's happening here is he's higher and longer here, but he's forcing the weight over here. And so the wall is compressing over here. You see it? How you got some little ridges?
I do.
Here. And so looking at the feet to read for ridges too, that shows us, like, you might think, well, it's this side that's higher. Well, yes, this side is a little too high, but actually this side is way high and it's pushing all his weight over here. See? Another thing you have to realize is that sometimes after, if a foot has been this way for years and years and years, you're going to have remodeling in the coffin bone. So there'll only be so far you can go with certain things. But, okay, so we're looking at this. Let's just change the color here. We're looking at this corner here over here now. See? And let me get it thicker there. Now, because the wall grows down and forward, okay, then when you trim it, well, wait a minute. I'll use something else there. Because the wall grows down and forward in the toe, then when you trim it, it naturally takes it up and back. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay, so when you look at a toe like this, okay, what you're seeing here is look, this side is shorter because you've taken it down more, so it's back. See, it's back. Whereas this side, you haven't been taking it down correctly, so it's more forward and longer, so it's forward. You see how it makes a difference in your mapping? See, if you were to take this down, okay, that's going to take this down here, and that's going to make it look more like this other side because it'll bring it back. See, and then your breakover will be straight. See, more over here, more like this right here, like my line right there, the blue line. So these are all things that you have to pay attention to when you're doing pillars. So when you take this down some, like look here, you can even see it here in the sole. You see the sole ridge on this side?
Yes.
But you don't see any on this side. See?
Yeah.
So if you were to start with your rasp doing that, what you got your pointing to there, going along this toe, it would take it down and it would start to rasp into the sole right here. And you would get, just a minute, let me make a pencil. Okay, so you have a sole ridge right here. Say it. If you were to start rasping over here, it would develop a sole ridge right there too. The same. Because when the wall grows, okay, let's see if I can explain this. The sole is not concave. All right, there is a convex ridge of sole that grows around the whole. You can see it right here too. See it? The whole, you can see it real good right here. See, one thing good I see on him is that he's got pretty good sole in his sole platform right here. That's pretty full. That's
how do you know that's not bar that's been laid over?
Oh no, I don't see that as bar. That's sole right there.
Thank God. Okay.
Yeah, thank God. No kidding.
No, because I took the bars because I thought they were laid over and smushing in, so I had to take
You've been
those away.
taking them over. Well, whatever you got there now looks like sole to me.
Woohoo!
You know. That or it's laying over sole. I don't, and it's the same shape. I don't know.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Okay.
Go with your instinct.
Okay, so there is a sole ridge around this thing. Okay, but when you let the foot grow, as the growth comes down, it attaches to the sole and it can look, it can look like this. Okay. But look at, let me draw something bigger. Wait a second. Okay. Oh, no. Okay. So let's say this is your foot right here. Okay. And the wall grows, let's see. And the sole looks like this. Because as the wall grows, it pulls the sole with it. And so it makes it look concave like that. But then when you come in and start trimming out the wall, it does this. See how I would have a sole ridge there then? Am I making sense? Yes. Maybe I'm not drawing a big enough picture.
No, it's good.
Okay, I can show you on my horse. And so anyway, so you would come in here and you would take this whole toe down, probably even down, maybe some into here. I don't know. I can't tell right here yet, but to make it symmetrical with this side of the foot. Okay. See, that's going to just take some of this off right here. But the thing about it
will do that.
Right? See, you could take it down flat. I would like, if it was me, I would come in and first I would just take some down, you know, to where, see, if you started rasping here, pretty soon the sole would start showing up. There'd be a little white line right here. And then the more you rasp, the thicker it would get, like this, as you're going down. And so for me, I would not just bevel this side. I would literally take some flat and down, you know, flat, your rasp is flat and you're literally taking that toe down. Right, you know, from like this section here,
Okay.
right here. And then I would bevel the wall and that would start letting this jamming out. Eventually this is going to drop down like this. You can even see how it's pushed up right here. See that?
Yes.
See, not as pushed up here. Here, I'll show you a front view of my horse. A second here. So these are all the different things, and you couldn't just cut this down exactly to a measurement here. See, that was the mistake I made with helping Amanda was I didn't take into account she had some jamming in here, and she went in and measured, you know, whatever this was, and then she took this down exactly 1/4 inch lower, and that was too much. See, because didn't account for this piece right here.
Yeah.
See, that has to drop out and down past here and be trimmed off as it drops out and lets the hairline down. See? So
I just sent you a most current picture because I've been doing this to have not daily, but I've been trying to stay on top of it.
okay.
And I think we've accomplished what you're asking
Oh,
us to
okay.
do.
Okay.
It's in your messenger if that's
okay,
helpful.
we'll go there.
Okay. Thanks.
And look, let's see. Let's see. Okay, well, and see, and here's Amanda sending me a message. She says this. She bought herself some hoof testers. She said, hi, just letting you know, I did the hoof testers on him. He is sore only on his front right on both pillars and the medial quarter. Luckily, his sole is thick. It didn't give it all with heavy pressure. Okay. All right, so let's look at this here first. But like I say, I don't, you know, I'm not going to be one of those people that if I make a mistake and what I tell somebody to do, I'm going to hide it, you know, or pretend like it's the horse's fault, or pretend like it's that person's fault. You know, what she did was fully my fault because I did not explain to her or make sure she understood what I'm trying to explain to you now. Okay, because see, I've made all these mistakes. You know, the first time I looked at a foot and then looked at Molly's foot and I did this measuring thing and I just went out and took it off, she was sore. You know, so that's over time I learned you can't just do that because there's jamming there. You have to let the jamming down. Yes, you have to take some down. Okay, sometimes, but you also have to just bevel and let some of that come out gradually and, you know. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so you in Messenger. All right, let's see. Okay, yes, it is looking better. Just a minute here. Let me share. Start sharing. Are we there?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, it is looking better. But we can still see there's still jamming. You know, you're going to want to follow your, I would bevel around. You could start by beveling around to this horn tube. Just a minute. Let me open this up. Save image and open it up in Paint or put it in Paint. Just a minute. See that this was a perfect foot to try and explain this stuff on, which I need to get better at explaining it. You got all this four-dimensional stuff going on. It's not always easy to explain. Sometimes it's easier to understand than it is to explain. You know what I mean? Let's see here, but you've got to be able to verbalize it. Okay. Okay. So, yeah, you have taken some back, but there's still, see, you can see the growth ring. Ultimately, in the end, it will follow this growth ring here. See, you can see your growth ring right there.
Hold on. I think you're sharing the wrong screen.
I am. Oh, okay. Just a minute. Okay, how's that? Better?
Perfect.
Okay. Okay, see, in this case, I would read up here, I'd read the growth ring, I'd follow the growth ring more, right around here, find the lowest growth ring, like what's this growth ring right here, and follow it around, and then bevel off of that. See, I think you're safe in doing that. Find the lowest growth ring in the toe, and, take it down, like so. And then if you bevel that, see, that's not taken off that much. Then if you bevel that, that gives it this room up here to release the hoof wall so that it will come out. Like you could bevel this, take it down some, bevel it, and then you come out in a few days. And if there is a lot of jamming here, it's going to look like you didn't bevel it. See, that's the principle of wall jamming, is that if it's jammed up here and you relieve it at the ground, then it's going to release it and relax it and let it come down here. Like instead of being and what's that going to do to the hairline? It's going to lower the hairline. See, to where then the hairline isn't up here like this, the hairline is down here like that. Is people understanding kind of what I'm saying there?
Perfectly.
Okay, and you see how that's why you can't just come in here and measure your dorsal wall and say, well, that's 3 1/4 inches. And then especially when there's been this jamming going on and there's excess wall in here, then you just take and measure from the hairline that's here, that should actually be here. You measure from here and go, well, I'm going to take this down 3 inches to 3 inches or to 2 3/4. I think Amanda's horse's foot was shorter than that anyway. I think she may have been 3 inches here, and she took him down to 2 3/4 here. But you never know. Sometimes they can be even less. I just wrote somebody, asked them because they wanted some help with their horse's feet. So I asked them to measure the dorsal wall, and they're only 2.5 inches in the dorsal wall. So we already know that this foot is only about 2.5 inches to begin with. And yeah, a little less over here, but then you're getting down to where you don't have much sole. But now, so many things happen when these feet start moving. And so if your pillar walls have been holding your toe forward, then when you finally get your pillars straightened out and released, all the horn tubules in the side too, because see, all these horn tubules, wait a minute, that are in the side of the wall, oh, come on, you stupid thing, that are like this, when you shorten that up and things move, they're going to start going back like that. You see that? So not only is this wall that's being jammed up here going to come down, okay, this whole toe that's being held forward is going to move back. All this stuff happens at the same time. And consequently, if you had sole that was stretched forward to here with this horn tubule in the wall, the toe wall will push that sole back like that. That's where you get those things where they say, oh, my horse has contracted soles or whatever they call it. No, he doesn't. You did something to the wall here where it was able to move back. It had stretched the sole forward, and so now it pushes all that sole back here. Okay, so that's why you also have to pay attention to what's going on to the sole in your toes and things like that. See, everything would have moved. Okay, so you see how your pillar here would hold your toe forward?
Yes.
Okay, so then once you correct these, if your toe has any separation right in here at all, once you correct these and they suck back, it's going to suck the wall back here too. Well, if your wall, now let me get a different color. If your wall right in here, okay, should be about like down to there. Okay, if it was in any way forced a little separation in here, that means that it was also pulling and stretching the sole forward right here. So if it moves back, the sole is softer. It's going to move the sole that was stretched forward to here. It's going to shove it back here, and it's going to form a thicker sole ridge right here that you might have to trim. Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
It's just, see so many moving parts. It's like that song, hip bones connected to the, so a lot of moving parts, a lot of things. So, okay. Anyway, that's what I was going to share. I will try and write this down and make it easier, but it is not overtly simple. But anyway, you understand? Kinda?
Yes. I
Okay.
think so. I mean, I think I'm on to I'm picking up what you're throwing down.
Okay, thank you. I don't want to pick it back up. Okay, Riza, do you have anything to add to that? Is he still here?
Yes, I am.
That put you to sleep?
No. I was looking at something. Yeah, no, that sounds perfectly fine. I mean, it's got to happen in small increments and in time.
Yeah.
You can't just go and whack off what you think needs to come off and then lame your horse. So rather take it easy and take it week by week if you have to, touch up little bits just to make sure you don't go along area in that pillar again, because especially on your medial pillars, you'll find that more often than not, because your horse tends to wear and break over more towards the outside, and then your medial doesn't get as much wear, and it grows and it does what Linda just explained there. Jams up the wall and then gets longer, even pulling your sole forward with it, causing like a separation in your wall and sole there. So yes, that is exactly what you should do. Just take it easy, take minimal off, take it off to where your horse is comfortable. Do not go past that comfort zone, because if you do lame the horse, he's not going to move properly, then things are just not going to go properly as well. So try and keep him as comfortable as possible while doing your corrections.
Yeah, and I have a tendency, I will say, of myself, because of the research I do and of seeing what it should be. Okay, I myself have a tendency to
wanna
want to
just
take
it
it
down
there,
again.
you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
and that is usually not good.
yeah.
So I don't want people to be like me, you
Yeah.
know.
What I normally do is I take it down, everything that's grown past the soul level, I'll take it down to soul level and then look at it again and see what if I can take a little bit more off. Sometimes you can, other times you can't, depending on your soul thickness or your depth of soul that you've got there. If you can't, leave it a week and just come back and touch up on it again. You don't have to do everything at the same time at the time that you're doing it.
Yeah,
It's
because it'll
always,
move.
yes, it will move. It eventually will move. But like I said, don't leave it for to get to that point again where you've got to do it again, because then you're going to be like on a little seesaw going back and forth, not getting anywhere. So you got to it's almost like you got to stay not ahead of the growth, but um as things happen, have a look at it and touch up on it if you need to, because if you don't, it's going to just throw everything out of whack again. So when you come back after 5 weeks, you're going to have to take too much down to get your, and then the horse will be sore. So, or you don't take enough down and it's still going to stay unlevel like it is. So try and just level it, keep it as level as possible so everything can start moving.
Cool. I get it. That makes perfect sense.
You know, and the whole time you're going to be reading these different things, you know, and you do measurements and things too, but just trying to remember all these different little things, you know, like I'm going to show you a picture of the front of my horse's foot here in a second. Da, 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 da. Just a minute. Got to find my file first. Just to show you, just a minute. Oh. Kind of. And of course, I've got problems with a flare on the side, but it's a, yeah, well, let me find a better picture. When was this? Okay. Yep. Okay. I got it right. A second. Okay. This is before his trim. So hold on here. New share. Let's see. Okay, this is his foot that cracks, but you can kind of see the growth rings. You can see the hairline. Am I sharing? Just a minute.
You were.
Okay. He's had this crack forever, but it is starting to stay closed because all the horn tubules are finally coming back. You know. But okay, just look at this is now he hasn't been trimmed for 9 weeks. Okay, but look at the hairline. See how it's like the inner foot, you know, and not too bad here on the growth ring. Now this side, he's always flared because he had one heel run forward that pushes the wall out. But slowly but surely, these are coming back into alignment because what happened was, just a minute here. As the one heel got trimmed out and it pushed all these horn tubules over, they were really crooked like this for a while. now they're all slowly coming to be straighter, but you can still see how they're still a little bit slanted. It's like you took like a clock or a lid and you just kind of torqued it one way, and he was straight, but he became pigeon-toed. And this all happened when I was barefoot trimming and over trimming the heels, and then when I was doing this other version of a barefoot trim called trimming from the top, where I was rasping down the walls at the same time and thinning them out. So anyway, you know, we all have certain problems with our feet, you know, but I just wanted to show you the hairline. See, I haven't got any real jamming in the hairline or anything, even though his foot is, just a minute, clear, is 9 weeks into growth there. That's kind of dark, but still not too bad, you know, with the hairline and the growth rings. That is medial. And he's got full sole too. He's got real good sole, but his heels here were almost 2.5 inches. Anyway, I think that's all we're going to do for today. Has anybody got anything else they want to add? Sorry it went so long.
No, that was awesome. Thank you.
Okay. Well, hey, everybody have a great week. I probably will not I might do something tomorrow. If I do, I'll let people know. Keep doing your homework.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you,
Okay.
Linda.
Thank
And
you.
I'll try to
That's
get to
great.
more people's horses' feet. Maybe I'll just do a special thing. If I do, I will, and we'll just go through some more people's horses' feet, okay?
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, you all have a great week.
You too, Linda.
Now, does anybody have anything they need to say or ask? Because if you have something you really need to ask or something, I don't want you to go away empty-handed.
Squeaky wheels.
Sometime can you talk about the soul plane?
The soul plane? Okay.
Yeah, Rita was talking about, I have a hard time. I've got a crooked eye, and you know, any help would be great.
Okay.
Sometime, whenever.
Okay.
Thank
The
you.
soul plane. What do you mean though by that?
Like how you eyeball it, and like when you're looking at the hoof in your hand, you know.
Okay.
Any tips?
Okay.
When you're rasping it flat and stuff. So.
Okay.
The
Well,
soul.
one thing I will tell you is most of these feet are hard to do a flat plane on since they're bound up anyway, and you can never get clean white line in the quarters. Have you noticed that?
Yes.
Yeah. But it gets better as your foot unbinds.
Okay.
Okay.
Super.
So, okay. And
Yeah.
I'll have Riza next week. We'll talk about that. And I have Riza share with us if he's here what he thinks about that too. Okay.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Sure.
Okay, because he does way more horse than I will ever do. You know.
Me too.
And see, that's a nice thing too. Like, okay, for me, it's just me and my horses and a couple others I do, and you know, so I'm more into the research side of it and stuff like that. To where he's in, I've got to make these horses, keep these horses at least looking sound, or I get fired. Okay. So there's a balance there. There's a balance between those two views. And he kind of said it perfectly when he said, you know, you can't just, I don't remember how you said it exactly, but you can't just nitpick it and keep doing the same thing over and over. There is a certain amount you have to do to affect change and keep going in that direction, or you're just going to keep doing the same thing over and over. So see, there's that balance between the research I do, and I know what it's supposed to be, you know, and what he does in that, yes, I'm going to head it in that direction, but I've got to keep this horse working at the same time.
Yes, I totally agree.
And that's what most of you guys want, you know. So, okay. All right. Well, hey, God bless everybody. Have a great and wonderful week. And I pray that God will keep you all safe. Okay.
Linda, I had a question.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I don't want to keep everybody.
No.
You might remember the mare I have is just out of shoes about 6 weeks.
Yeah.
A lot of chipping and stuff, but now as you know, time has gone on, her toe is super long. So I've, contacted my farrier and he's just kind of, I guess, busy, or I don't really know when he'll be coming.
Okay.
So I was just wondering, like, if I can, map the foot and then like take it down a little bit, like you said, to the bottom growth ring, just to keep her from stressing that front.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
And you can like bevel the wall back.
Okay.
Just like if you had long fingernails, but you want to go do gardening.
Right.
You're going to cut well, most people would. Some people, I don't know how they do that. But anyway, me, myself, I would want my fingernails a little bit shorter, but I don't want to take it, into the quick.
Right.
So they're not going to break off. It's the same principle. And also, if anybody's here and you have sent me pictures and then somehow I spaced it out, please get a hold of me again, because I just have a hard time keeping track of what I'm doing. And so, Allie, if you want to send me, I think you have sent me pictures, but if you want to send me pictures again too, I'll kind of mark it up, what you could do with the rasp and things like that. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Hey, anybody else?
Feel good.
Okay.
I sorry, this is Denise. I was just gonna, I'm gonna do a series of pictures. My mare who blew out the periopal, put videos of that happening on the mentor group. I just looked at her the other day and her frog stay came out.
Oh, really?
Out the back. So I'm gonna get some pictures of it.
That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I've looked and looked.
Wow.
I mean, you're talking a 23-year-old chronic laminitis all of her life. She had the frog stay, and then all of a sudden, boom, it came right out the back. So I'm gonna get some pictures, and maybe we can look at it and
yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yes, because it's kind of like,
but how is the horse doing?
Sound.
Really?
She's never been this sound. We were walking on the gravel road the other day.
Oh, wow.
I'm not into riding too much anymore, but it's perplexing. So I don't know whether it's just that was her first shot at it and now we'll grow it again. If it was so compromised from years and years of deep central sulcus thrush that now she grew it and I got all excited and I went, what? So anyways, I'll get some pictures and I can share that.
That'd be great.
Okay.
That's great. Okay, I don't want to leave anybody out. Has anybody else got anything they want to share or say or anything? Don't be shy.
We're looking for the squeaky wheel.
Yeah. Thank you and good night, Linda. This is Tiffany. Thank you very, very much.
Yeah,
From
good
Hefner
night.
too.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.